Yo, yo, yo. Testing 1 3 1 3. Let's see. Let's mute that. per usual, just double checking everything is Gucci for the most part. And I'm pretty much starting earlier than usual, but circumstances. Alright. Let's see. Should probably share this out. Alright, welcome everyone, Sanju Che here. Welcome back to the channel. To those of you that are watching now, or those of you that'll be, rewatching once the stream goes up, welcome to another end of month subscriber stream. Of course, I'm your host, your friendly neighborhood Uchiha, the man himself. But yeah, we're starting a bit earlier than usual. It's literally like 5:40 p.m. my time. Still in work clothes for the most part. Yeah, the plan was to potentially go out tonight, so just in case anything crazy is happening later, plan is to, do the stream from, at least a few hours earlier than usual. But, shout out to everyone that's, stopping by here and there. So, yeah, that aside, how is everyone? That is, as per usual, the starting question, right? I mean, another month, it just feels like the year is just passing by. Like, even these days at work, it just feels like by the time I do like one or two things, it's just, that's it basically. The day is done. It's like 12 o'clock, lunchtime, eat lunch, then by the time you finish eat lunch, man, fight, sleep, and then it's like jeez, the niggeritis is real, to say the least. But it is what it is. Quite a bit to talk about for this stream, as you can tell by the title, or at least stuff that we've touched on here and there in the past. But with the recent chapter of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, I do see a lot of persons starting to have this discussion regarding power scaling, and specifically Sarada, etc. Naturally, because the fight between Sarada and Hidari is actually coming up. I'm expecting to get that next chapter. And yeah, that's something to talk about. Of course, the matter of missing characters. I mean, Sakura, Kakashi, etc. I mean, every month I joke about the fact that since Konoha is always attacked, like the previous generation just got fed up and just moved out permanently. They don't have to pay such high premiums to Konoha insurance, like compared to the insurance companies of other villages, because this is complete madness. But all jokes aside, like, I wanted to talk about that too, if it's affecting the story, the little nuances of it, to say the least. So there's that to tackle as well. Of course, any general expectations for chapter 11 and beyond, and anything else that comes to mind, for the most part. So yeah, pretty much just that. Hold on here. I think I did share this out already. Oh yeah, I think I did mention it, I believe, already, that in terms of my monitor issues, that I figured out the cause of it. NVIDIA broadcast apparently was causing my GPU to like go above 80 degrees, and once my GPU gets above 80 degrees, it's causing the external monitor to just go black. So yeah, but that's pretty much what it is. Yo, Andrew, what going on? Damn, I'm tired. Wouldn't mind like a nice, beautiful girl for just, you know, just a little massage, little, you know, rub down. Yeah, that me that me meds. And some good food. But all in due time. All in due time. You see me? But yeah, man, I'm there. Another month. As I said earlier, I'm not even sure where the time is going, fam. But we're here all the same. Here all the same. But yeah, so definitely the first thing I want to tackle is the matter of Sarada, because Two Blue Vortex, of course, like getting to this point in the story has been a long time coming. The matter of Millennium Kage, Wagwan. The matter of like Sarada and Mitsuki from a manga perspective not getting like decent spotlight or, you know, panel time has been a thing. They've been, I mean, Kishimoto has been doing or laying the groundwork from Boruto Naruto Next Generations, from like chapter from after the fight with Code, for them to actually do something. You know, you do remember them expressing their frustrations of if they don't get to the power of love, you know, so they can actually fight at Otsutsuki, it doesn't make sense, etc, etc. And it seems like we're at that point now for us to, you know, see the fruits of Sarada's quote-unquote training. But of course there will be arguments for, you know, is Sarada too powerful? You know, like, how did she get to this level so fast? Of course there is the cliche, you know, as, you know, spin-offs and the series goes on longer and longer, characters become, everybody becomes like a genius and can skyrocket in power in like just like that. But for the most part, when it comes down to Boruto, for the persons that would complain about the power scaling, I think for the most part the characters who have skyrocketed to like some ridiculous levels in a short amount of time, arguably speaking, it's been done in like in a non-bullshit way. It still makes sense. It's not like some, oh, I'm 117, let me train on some island and I can surpass Super Saiyan Blue. It's not like that. It makes sense. And taking in this, you know, initial exchange between Sarada and Hidari, I see a lot of persons already jumping onto their seats and saying like, yo, Sarada, yo, it's god level, etc, etc. And I I think persons are jumping to conclusions way too fast. Yes, it's Hidari. Yes, it's sentient, you know, Shinju, the sentient god tree, etc, etc. That's relative to Boruto, etc, etc. But I think we should wait for more context, more of the fight to actually start and go on to get a proper assessment. I generally feel persons are like jumping to conclusions if they really are jumping and say, yo, Sarada's like the strongest Uchiha now, etc, etc. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that she's become like ridiculously powerful, but to say that she's like on that level, like if to say like she's probably stronger than Madara, I I can't say that just yet with good faith without seeing one, more of the fight and more context for what she would have done for training in these last 3 years. Now, I for one, I'm a person that would be like fine with her being on the level of, say, I don't know, like war, maybe early war arc Sasuke, and maybe her Mangekyo gives her like a hacks ability that would allow her to hang in there with the top tiers right now. I would be more alright with that. But outside of that, unless it's a case where somebody like Amado, which maybe just maybe had like a hand to play in like her like leveling up her training, or maybe the time with like Damon and Ada, maybe she was training with Damon. That would kind of make sense why she would be able to get to that level. But until we see more, it's hard to say. Because if it was just training on her own, it would be, I think it would be stupid, to be honest, if she was genuinely at that level. And then even when it comes on to the sentient Shinju, we can make estimations for how strong they could be based on like their origin. I mean, of course, they're Tentails that evolve into divine trees due to, you know, codes Chakra and Karma, and his white Karma, which have, you know, codes, you know, blood Chakra, etc., which, you know, at its current level is beyond Jigen, and of course it has essences of Ishiki in that white Karma, more or less, which would explain, or you could come to the logical conclusion that yeah, the Shinju, they should all be beyond Jigen. But if we're going to jump and say Sarada has made that jump from, say, I don't know, like I have my tiers like this, right? You have, you know, your academy student, your Genin, your Chunin, Jonin, your Kage, your Super Ninja, you know, my own little ranking. God tier. I don't know. It might sound kind of cringe, but super God tier. I don't know. But it'd be like, because I would consider Sarada pre-time skip like probably high tier Chunin, give or take, on average. So for her to make that jump from, say, high tier Chunin through to Jonin, Kage, you know, Super Ninja, God level Super, you know, it would be ridiculous if it's just on her own. And of course, as I said, as the story goes on, I know it's a thing where you have to level up these other characters, but I think historically speaking, when it comes on to the Naruto universe, like, characters usually jump up in power in a more believable way, given the nature of like their training, their genetics, or, you know, just their overall, I guess, disposition, if I could put it like that. So there's that. Now, there could be a flip side to this where, yeah, maybe Hidari definitely is beyond Jigen, but, and of course he is using Sasuke's chakra, memories, techniques, etc., etc., but to say it could be a little more nuanced than that, in the sense that maybe they have all of this, but they don't necessarily have battle experience. They have that raw power naturally, but maybe you could, to a degree, compensate with a little more skill. To a degree. That could be it as well. Yeah, flashbacks could definitely help, of course. Is what I'm saying. If it's a thing where between maybe training with Damon as a favor, like Sarada asked as a favor, or Amara had something to do with it, some involvement maybe, then outside of that, I don't think Sarada is really and truly like supposed to be keeping up here. Granted, again, I'm alright with the possibility that like she may be hanging there with maybe a difference in skill level, like a skill versus extreme raw power. And of course, even with that, there's only so far skill can go against like extreme raw power. But between that and maybe if she pulls out the Mangekyo with a Hacks ability, yeah, I can see, like, I predict it going more along those lines, to say the least. So that's what I'm kind of subscribing to when it comes on to like Pro Chapter 11 and beyond. And then they take it from there based on how her performance, you know, goes in terms of what they can do to level her up a bit more. And of course, I would imagine, depending upon how this interaction or this face-off goes, whatever arc they might have for Konohamaru might, you know, hit off, like go off as well. Well, between Konohamaru and Sumeri. So there's a possibility as well. I mean, the possibilities are endless, because even with how this could potentially end up, like, even, and of course this ties into the missing characters, if they even decide to start featuring Orochimaru, it'd be interesting to see some more, like, some Sarada Orochimaru interactions to see how that could factor in, because yeah, at the end of the day, that overarching or that theme of technology and progression when it comes on scientific advancement and how that contrasts against, you know, traditional ways of doing things in the story. Like a character like Orochimaru is perfect for that, honestly. And it would be interesting to even see Orochimaru contrasted off Amado. But between that, I could see those being ways for them to really power up Sarada, really and truly. Because if we even go back to Saturn, well, go on. If we even go back to like the whole, I guess, Boruto Naruto the movie arc or the Momoshiki arc, like in terms of Naruto and Sasuke's perspectives on technology and how the soul of Shinobi never changed, like the whole idea going into the future of the story is balancing the use of technology, you know, how you use it or who's using it, with, you know, traditional ways of approaching getting stronger. So I could definitely see Sarada, a person who strives to be Hokage, a Hokage of the future, so to speak, embracing that technological advancement, but, you know, be the voice of balance between that advancement and the traditional, I guess not morals, but ways, the traditional culture of doing things when it comes on to being a shinobi. Yeah, Orochimaru Amado, bro, listen, listen, that would be crazy. Like Amado and Orochimaru, especially because the thing is, no, with the fact that we haven't seen him in the manga, like at all, give or take, like the expectations for his scientific advancements right now, it's crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if like the months, all right, yo, the Hashirama cell thing now do you know, like we need some Shibai cells, a body made out of Shibai cells. Yo, that would be crazy, dog. So I think that's definitely all the things that we need to consider when it comes on to Sarada here. I'm expecting an interesting showing, like a fun showing when it comes on to like the results, the fruits of her training, you know. So there's that. There's definitely that. But I don't think persons should be jumping and say she's god level just yet until we get further context, essentially. So pretty much that. But outside of that, like even tying all of that into the the discussion of the missing characters, right? Because as much as I can theorize that Kishimoto only wants to, you know, it's the manga is monthly, right? And we're already juggling a certain cast of characters, a certain quantity of characters, and like the more characters you include, in a sense, you kinda have to adjust the pacing to accommodate those characters having not necessarily like a long winding story arc, but just some sort of developments, or, you know, their presence there needs to actually affect another character. So I've always theorized for months and months, for over a year now, that Kishimoto probably refuses to include the other characters because, you know, time constraints. We're probably trying to get through the story in a certain amount of time. So that's why I've always kind of thought that was the case. But at the same time, it's like, fam, let's go. How far can we go back on Manga Plus? Chapter 8. Let's see something here. Like, it doesn't make sense. I mean, how far can you go in terms of saying, okay, all this madness is going on in the village, right? And you're telling me no Sakura, no Lee, no I know it's on the way, but no Tenten, no Kakashi, no Tsunade, no other villages. Like I think it's even starting to become a meme where the other villages are just like, after the fact, that's when like, oh, let me just, you know, Zoom or Teams call them to say, yo, this happened. Like, okay, fine, cool. Wait, Mello, wow, go on, man. Thanks, man. Thanks for stopping in. I'm here. People like up the stream, only 3 likes. But yeah, like it's starting to become kind of ridiculous where even if you want to balance the pacing of the story, like how 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 far can I go and say, okay, all this is happening and all these other characters aren't showing up? I know it's a very nuanced discussion because there's the matter of power scaling. Are these characters strong enough to necessarily keep up with these other characters, etc. But I don't even think that should be an argument because we have characters like Inojin, Chocho, Shikadai that are there as well that obviously can keep up. And there's also the matter of course, they could definitely be just using this as like similar to like a Dragon Ball Super where Toriyama just had like an outline, even though this is the official manga. This, for lack of better expression, this could just be acting as an outline, and the anime version of this will be like the final product essentially, So yeah, I would like to see Killer Bee too. But like everybody else, like the man is saying, the insurance premiums in Konoha, man, like it doesn't make sense. So everybody's just staying outside of Konoha. Can you imagine every time your host gets destroyed in Konoha farm, like insurance just raises the premiums. It's crazy. But yeah, so I was saying, like, yeah, there's the matter of like how strong these characters are and if they could even make a difference. But Inojin, Chocho, like Shikadai, these are characters that would be like still below the previous generation. So it's like I don't think you could use that as like a suitable like argument, Definitely not. And like even funny enough, I've been rewatching Naruto, actually, anime, with Ray. That's a friend slash neighbor that I did the Attack on Titan reaction review with. Got him to Naruto. I've been rewatching Naruto with him, and that's another discussion. But even looking back on Naruto, the balance between like there's still a lot of focus on Naruto's generation, obviously, but it seems balanced when it comes on to Kakashi, Guy, and those characters having like still being there in the background, contributing essentially. But you just don't necessarily see that with the manga version of Boruto 2 Blue. Well, Boruto in general, honestly. And it kind of makes me wonder what happened, because even with the whole, I mean, everybody knows the whole plot point of them comparing the Byakugo seal to the Karma, and that never went anywhere. Boruto and company were supposed to go see Tsunari, and that never went anywhere. So I'm wondering if, like, on an editorial standpoint, if ever since that point that they just decided, like, no, for the sake of pacing, let's just cut the extended cast of characters in the background. But I think it's starting to become nonsensical. Like the village can't be attacked that much and we don't see these characters. And of course there are ways and means, in a believable sense, just like how I would reason out things with Sarada going forward, that these characters can still make jumps in power, really and truly. And when I even look back on like part 1 on Naruto, really, and how like Naruto's generation would interact with Kakashi or in previous generations, the interactions between those generations, and seeing like the previous generation kind of stepping up, kind of doing things, kind of doing the heavy lifting, it still leaves, how should I say, it kind of has like this domino effect in terms of how it affects the development and growth of the generation you're focusing on. So I still think there could be some benefits to even including them, even if you want to set them up to die, which that's been like, I think that was heavily promoted going into Boruto, like, oh, Boruto is supposed to be like darker than Naruto. So that's the thing, That's the problem. At least with Naruto, we didn't know much about the previous gen, hence the heavy focus on them. But since you already know about Naruto gen, all they need is to incorporate them. Yeah, exactly. So it's like even a lot of the heavy lifting it's already been done. I mean, there are some subtle things you could kind of express with the new gen in terms of course, you're still balancing that theme of scientific advancement and technology versus like that traditional, culture of being a shinobi. Fine, but you could actually do it in like some small ways that don't completely kill the pace and how that's affecting each of the characters essentially, and what does it really mean to be a shinobi in the modern age when you have aliens and all of that. So yeah, granted, as I say, it doesn't have to be like a long winding arc for each of those previous gen characters, but you could have it be highlighted in the interactions between those characters and like the current generation. And then I think, even though it's anybody's guess if that would make me personally care about the new generation more, but I think it would still go a long way in terms of helping out my perception of the new generation essentially, especially if you're setting up for a lot of these old characters to die. And then I think that's like another potential nuance thing when it comes on to the previous generation, because it's like when you're thinking about it, I'm from like a business standpoint, I'm wondering if it's a case where they're afraid to involve these characters because they feel like they'd be forced to kill them, and then they're wondering what the fans would think, little things like that. It's possible. Code attacks, Ishiki attacks, and the one from show stuff in the manga. They're not including them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could be a case where it's like the manga is kind of like, even though it's its own definitive thing, quote unquote, it might be just like a blueprint for what the anime should be, and then the anime just adds those finishing touches. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying last stream, where hold on, lost my train of thought there. Shit. Boy. So yeah, I remember now. It goes back to what I was saying last stream, where I was saying that even if the sales for Boruto, like in general, like keep going down or they don't go up, it probably doesn't matter, because from like a complete business standpoint between Shonen Jump, Shueisha, Studio, Perio, 12, you want to pronounce it, it's like we need a blueprint for where to, how to actually direct the anime, So probably it could be a thing where it's like, okay, we just need to necessarily just get through this as fast as possible, and then we do the revisions when it comes on to the anime when it comes back, just to kind of make it more or less nonsensical in terms of having these characters not showing up. Because you would think, like, even with let me go back to chapter 8. Even with like characters showing up like Ambu, like the Jonins coming out when Jura just came to the village, you would think like Sakura would be out there healing persons or something like that once they're getting like, skewered left, right, and center, So there is definitely that. And yeah, like I'd be really disappointed if going into the whole Hidari Sarada fight, if we don't even get like a flashback of Sakura. That wouldn't really make sense. I think the story it could benefit more from involving those characters, man, honestly. And probably to a degree, you could give those characters something to do. Maybe like in a flashback. Maybe right now Sakura's out researching something with the karma, etc. For a Byakugo seal, etc., etc. Something, fam. Yo, Dara Shikage, Wagon. So I think the lack of the other characters is a wasted opportunity, fam. I mean, we can only see Kawaki get put down so many times, right? So there's that. But as I said, I admit it's a very nuanced discussion as well, because all of what I just said could be it when it comes on to those characters not necessarily being shown in the manga, whether it be like the manga just acting as a blueprint for the anime, or from a perspective of like we don't want to include those characters because we'd have to kill them off and the fans, or we just want to get through this as fast as possible for the anime sake, etc., etc. But I think even if it's like minimal panel time, I think it would be awesome to see Orochimaru working on that. They're working on stuff in the background, etc., etc. But I think having those characters could tie into the overall theme that they're going for when it comes on to the Boruto story going forward. Honestly, I mean, Orochimaru is a given. Sakura, I think, is a given Sarada's involvement in this story. Lee, be interesting to see Lee come back into the fold. I know, like, from the anime perspective, when they went up against Ishiki, it's like they kind the Konoha Avengers kind of got one shot for the most part. But I mean, we have Shikamaru, which understandable why he has panel time. You know, so he's more or less the Ito Kage, more or less, and of course assistant to Naruto. And you know, given that she's kind of in charge of, you know, communications in the village and all of that, so but I think there are more negatives than positives by keeping those characters out. And of course, all of that being said, it could go back to the discussion of persons the conversation we've been having since day one, that, you know, probably the manga should be like bi-weekly or weekly, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. So it is what it is, fam. It is what it is, honestly speaking. So there is definitely that. I think last stream I did talk about Momoshiki returning in great length, so probably might not go too much into that for this stream, honestly speaking. But all that aside, I think one of the questions persons have as well right now, like going forward, is like, what's gonna happen with Konohamaru? Because I mean, outside of the mission with yeah, he had some extra scenes in the anime fighting Jigen. He hasn't had like a real arc per se. I know like a lot of the expectations we place on Konohamaru is stemming from the fact that he, you know, quote unquote, took out one of the bodies of Pain. But maybe we should start like thinking about that. Is that enough of a basis that we like looking back on, was that enough reason for why we put so much expectations on, you know, what he should be doing in this new generation? I know he wants to become Hokage. I don't know if that's still the case. He hasn't said, I haven't heard like one statement like, oh, I'm gonna be Hokage in, you know, Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. And of course that does come with him maturing and all of that. But similar, I almost feel like Konohamaru, if Kishimoto decided to write him that way, he's almost in the same situation as, say, Sarada pre-time skip. I think this latest invasion is more or less putting him in the position of, you know, being super frustrated at his lack of being able to necessarily help out. That and the fact that Moegi has been, you know, captured by the Shinju as well. I think there's a possibility there that, you know, he could have an arc as well. But I mean, where do you go with it? That's the better question, because like, of course, there's like the cliche go-to things when it comes on to in the community, right? Oh, monkey sage mode or some foolishness like that. But I mean, where do we really and truly go? Like any suggestions for Konohamaru, people? Like, what kind of story arc could we like potentially hope for, which could contribute to like the epicness of this manga? That is the thing right now, because Moegi, Cause I don't even know, man. Konohamaru right now to me is almost like so I don't even know what to say when it comes down to him myself, honestly. Honestly. He's gonna get his roses soon. I mean, it's possible, as I said, but it's not going to be, if it's going to happen, it's not going to be until like in till after this current mini arc, so to speak. But again, the next possibility, the next dimension of our, you know, side of things when it comes down to Konohamaru, like you could potentially play him off Sarada. Because of course, naturally, Sarada wants to be Hokage too. So maybe you could have like that kind of dynamic between like the previous gen and the current gen that I kind of wanted, by including characters like Kakashi and etc. Maybe you could play that off. If we're not going to include Sakura or anybody like that, we could still play it off Konohamaru and Sarada, you know. So that could definitely work, pairing those two up. Trusting Kishimoto, eh? Of course, Shidori, Dodge, Nick Sidari. Well, all that aside, you know, I'm just curious about the nuance of like these 10 tails and their abilities, right? Because I'm dying to get a concrete answer of where to place like each and every one of them from a power scale standpoint and where, you know, they stand, you know. So there's that. Wait, bio, well gone. we're here. Now, of course, when it comes on to that last chapter of TBV, of course, I did speak about Himawari as well. I mean, how could I not consider that Kurama has been revived? And you know, shout out to Naruto Explained, because this would be the only thing that makes sense outside of what I was saying last stream. Because essentially I was saying that it's cool that Himawari has Kurama now, that she's a Jinchuriki and all of that, and you have this once in a lifetime thing where like a tail beast just reincarnates or revives just inside a person. That's actually like that's the first time we're actually seeing something like that. But Naruto explained with one of his videos, I think it was since last week, he was saying potentially maybe that strength, or maybe like the embers of that Baryon mode strength, maybe with this Kurama, and then maybe Himawari has it by default, and that would kind of explain why Damon was like interested in her, or was kind of freaking out by how strong she was, or at least her latent potential. Because outside of that possible theory, right, I was saying it would have had to be something else outside of Kurama, because if we really take into consideration everything that goes into Jura's power, like having the 9 tails is nothing impressive. Really and truly, it's nothing impressive. So if it's a case where even if this Kurama, like even though he's like seemingly young, if that's not affecting his power output, say he can still output the same amount of power he had like with Naruto, and he has embers of like that Baryon mode, you know, ability. I mean, and then I guess, so to speak, maybe if it's a case where, like, of course, I would imagine this is the first time he was using Baryon mode with a Jinchuriki or with somebody. Maybe some side effects in terms of the reincarnation. So there's that. That's Sanjo Chi and Naruto Explain collab. That is a good question. I'm not sure. Whenever that's going to happen, I at least want to be I want to get back to the point where I'm doing videos often again. Because you realize, really and truly, since the year started, apart from the initial video I did in the year, this year so far has just been the Boruto reviews in the 3rd week of the month and these end of month subscriber streams. Those have been the only things I've been doing. I at least want to get back to the point where I'm doing, you know, consistent videos again before I I think about that. But that would be cool. That would be cool. Hopefully one of these days, I'm not gonna lie. So there's definitely that to think about. But yeah, man, that would be cool. That would be cool. But even going back to the chapter, the fact that Kurama, I would imagine that Kurama maybe probably definitely have some idea of how strong the Shinju are. I mean, even if he's like just basing it on the fact that it's a 10 tails, like, but the fact that he seems like confident in the fact that Himawari should be able to, you know, survive. I'm wondering. I'm really wondering. Hold on, I want to go back to that last panel with her. I mean, yeah, it's just, I mean, really and truly just the initial Jinchuriki state. You can try this channel. You think Kurama's affected by omnipotence? I mean, considering he was technically dead when it happened, it could possibly be that he isn't affected. But let me think about this one. You know, he could be, but Kurama as a character, even if he is, I could see him probably just not caring. Like he'll support Naruto's family. But then again, yeah, it's not like Kurama had any like massive. I mean, he did have that conversation with Kawaki and was kind of watching Kawaki while Naruto would sleep. So it would be interesting to see his interaction with Boruto, who he thinks is Kawaki now. Or it could also be a case where, of course, since omnipotence doesn't affect Otsutsuki, maybe you could do some mental gymnastics and say, okay, maybe since, you know, he was part of the God Tree, at one point part of the 10 Tails, maybe he's not affected. So probably between that, the fact that he was dead, or maybe you could make an argument that he was affected because, oh, all chakras connected, right? So there's that. There is definitely that. I mean, to be honest, Cord was in the next dimension and then he got affected, so anything is possible, right? So there's definitely that. But I'm wondering, like, what's the overall plan here, fam? Because we can sit here and expect, like, okay, maybe she'll have that Gohan moment. She'll probably overpower him, quote unquote, or seem like it for a bit. Maybe Juro will take it just a bit more seriously and then knock her out. Maybe Kawaki shows up. Then maybe Boruto shows up. Kawaki decides to be a douchebag and then activates Karma level 2. Momoshiki comes out. But all the extra stuff aside, like, I'm wondering if what's Kurama's plan here? Like, can he tell Himawari's potential, or what's the keys? And then I'm wondering how far, like, this Kurama can take this Himawari, because, okay, really and truly, since this Kurama isn't like evil, he's not trying to take over our body, or anything like that. And it's not like she needs quote unquote training to well, maybe like, yeah, some training to like sync up with Kurama. But I would imagine at least like the initial Ninetales chakra mode, like Kurama should be able to at least give her that without too much of a hassle. Because think about it, I mean, Naruto quote unquote got Kurama, like technically quote unquote beat him. Let's just put it like that. And then just, absorb that chakra, separate and apart from Kurama's like influence, and then boom, Ninetales chakra mode. So I'm wondering if like Kurama's gonna give her that, but maybe that'll be jumping the gun too fast. Maybe, just maybe. So there's that. But again, let me see. List of Boruto chapters. So this will be the second to last chapter for the volume. Because we're just brushing through volumes pretty fast, aren't we? But if we look at it, if there's not much history, historically speaking though, if you look at the second to last chapters in these volumes, we had Uzuhiko for volume 1. You have the whereabouts of the sun, which was that fight between Boruto and Mitsuki. Should have a decent chapter if we're going by the history here. But since we're kind of closing in on the end of volume 3, because June, July, and then that'll kind of start taking us out of summer. Like for the fall season, I'm wondering if we'll get to see Code in any shape or form for the next volume, because what would Code even be doing at this point? Like on a serious note, like I know he's just waiting for these god trees to consume Boruto maybe, or consume Boruto or Kawaki, but like what does he do in the meantime? Yeah, he could set some claw marks, he can observe, he can watch, etc, etc. But in vain with the whole missing characters thing, right? I know one thought that's at the back of a lot of persons' heads is the whole topic of the missing Otsutsuki, based on, of course, chapter 30. Let me see if I can find some scantillation sites. Boruto chapter 34 maybe, or 33. Let's see here. Ads. Yes, here we go. Close. Should probably just get the ad blocker or something. But anyway, yeah. So there was the matter of the whole missing Otsutsuki, because we had, of course, Kaguya and Ishiki here. We had Momoshiki and Kinshiki, and then we had two more. Should probably just turn this blasted ad blocker. Yeah. Anyway, ads aside, you get the point. We had these two panels that were erased. Yeah, I think that's why I was going with this too, where I wouldn't be surprised if Code, and I think this would tie into even like another video I did, which was like the the whole Naruto story is a lie, based on when we got the whole reveal of omnipotence, right? And it would be nice if these two missing Otsutsuki had something to do with the Uzumaki clan, and of course, Code having, well, the normal hero color that he had. It'd be interesting if Code was actually like a Uzumaki or something like that, and Code unravels something that ties into the missing Otsutsuki, that ties into probably the quote-unquote true fate of probably what happened to the Uzumaki clan back in the day. Because I guess you could retroactively say, like, you know, the Otsutsuki had something to do with it, if we're going with the train of thought, or my theory that the entire Naruto story is kind of more or less founded on a lie, essentially. So we could definitely go with that, because I mean, it's good and all that we have these characters, Kawaki, you know, Boruto, Amado. We're in Konoha because no other village is apparently important, and insurance in Konoha is high, etc., etc. But if this is supposed to be like the Dragon Ball Z part of the story, like, at least it doesn't have to like jump to it right away, but we should be seeing some foreshadowing, which I think this is part foreshadowing, definitely, but at least some setup for where do we go from here, because these Shinju are powerful, there are a threat, we still have so many different, you know, clog rhyme out there, etc., etc., but where do we go beyond the interpersonal conflicts and drama between, oh, Kawaki wants to do this, oh, I don't want Kawaki to do this, etc., etc. When do we get to the quote-unquote source of the problem, the Otsutsuki, and more about them? I guess we do know a decent amount about them at this point, but like, the fact that even if not the whole clan, just the fact that you have two Otsutsuki that have been here, I would imagine, and their symbols have been like kind of etched out. So I'm really wondering. Really, I mean, everybody's wondering. So I think when it comes on to volume 3, or maybe even volume 4, even if it's like a small tidbit of code kind of being code and setting other things in motion, where it's like, okay, there are more Otsutsuki, you have these two missing ones, and Code does some stupid shit to kind of alert them or bring them here, or whatever the case may be. Maybe there's a seal somewhere, maybe Jigen mentioned something about these other two Otsutsuki. Maybe it's like, oh, maybe I can get some help, I want to be an Otsutsuki too, etc., etc. You know, I could just see Ko doing something stupid like that, honestly. Like, so I think that would be a nice way to segue into, you know, getting introduced to those missing Otsutsuki. And I don't know, like the chakra fruit, the whole aim of the chakra fruit is, it's cool and all, but it would be nice if there was something a bit more nuanced about these potential missing Otsutsuki, you know? Granted, I guess that's what the Shinju, the sentient Shinju are for, like Jura and Hidari and all of that. But I'd still want that, like a more nuanced Otsutsuki when it comes on to that. And potentially how those Otsutsuki would interact with like this god tree that's like taking on this new path of evolution, you know? And then by extension get a flashback into, you know, what is the true history, lore, origin when it comes on to the god trees, the Otsutsuki and all of that. Are the god trees like a separate race, or the god trees, or are they like specifically engineered by the Otsutsuki? You know, little stuff like that. That's what I would want to actually learn and hear about. But alas, series is monthly, so we gotta wait a while. Got to wait a while, which I don't mind. Well, I mind, but I don't mind, if you get what I mean. But whew, jeez, it feels like I've only, like, there was like some way to just double the amount of pages per month. Granted, some persons would probably say like, oh, even if you double the amount of pages, persons would still probably find a way to complain. What do you think? If you're actually getting 80 pages of Boruto per month, what did you guys think about that? You think you would still complain about like, oh shit, wish it was like, you know, more often? But granted, 80 pages I think works out to like, you know, the same amount of pages. Probably in some cases even more than what you'd get if you had the manga weekly. So yeah, it would be perfect, to be honest. It'd be interesting to see how that would affect the pacing in the grand scheme of things. So yeah. Let's see. On here. Alright, it's crazy. It's been an hour already. That's actually crazy. What I want to do in the meantime is open the floor. If any of you guys want to join and talk on stream here. Of course, link in the description if any of you guys want to jump on. Let's check something obvious here. List file, go to mic music. Okay, cool. We are good, we are good. Well, while I wait on potential one of you guys to jump on, I guess in other news, I'm sure most of you have seen that recent behind the scenes at Storm Connections DLC. It's crazy, fam. You know, sometimes I joke and say that, you know, like CC2. Let me turn this down. I sometimes joke that CC2 needs to do like the fight scenes in the anime or manga, fam, because really and truly, more time. I know it's a game and probably wants to be a bit more bombastic or something, but
just for you.
But like sometimes I'm looking at some of like the team ultimates and thing for like the Storm games, and I'm like, fam,
I've grown stronger.
This is how I kind of wanted the character to be represented in the actual story. Like, think about it. Think about like any like Sasuke, like adults or War Arc Sasuke Ultimate and beyond, fam. Like, yeah, like I said, this isn't the same Sasuke that's in the story. clearly, but I just think it's actually funny. Really and truly. Like looking at it. And I mean, even this new ultimate with Naruto, Hashirama and Ashura, like seriously, fam. So this man, you have Hashirama summoning it'd be Hashirama and Ashura summoning each of their, you know, 2,000 hands. You have Naruto in 6 parts Sage mode, and of course the Ninetales avatar merged into his 3-headed state. Well, I mean, what do you even call this, fam? On a serious note, do you say like 6 parts massive Razeng Shuriken True 1000? I mean, what do you even call it? On a serious note.
The strength of the 6 paths. A glorious jutsu.
Thank you. I think this should settle it.
You think? I mean, like, seriously. You think that should settle it? Like, the funniest thing I've heard all week, fam. Funniest thing. Well, as you'd expect, I'm thinking what a lot of persons are thinking, that, you know, we're waiting on the Madara, you know, Sasuke, Indra, you know, ultimates, but it seems like this is going to do things similarly to Xenoverse 2 that just refuses to end in terms of DLC. I guess it is what it is. But speaking of Xenoverse 2, yo, that Sparking Zero trailer! Yo, fam. Yo, listen. I know it's kind of like a meme at this point for the Sparking Zero trailer, where it's like, yo, at the end of the trailer, it's like, yo, when's the release date? When's the release date? When's the release date? And it's like, wish list now. It's crazy, dog.
Oh, I'm plenty strong already. You better not cry and complain when I wipe the floor with you.
I'm ready, so bring it on. I'm not gonna lose.
Like, compared to like earlier trailers, what do you guys think about how Sparking Zero looks right now? Like, are you gonna order it? Am I gonna be fighting any of you guys online? No. Turn this down a bit.
Ready for this? Here you go.
I know some persons were saying kind of looks a bit too, I guess, saturated for the most part. Like the colors seem a bit too bright. But it's whatever to me.
Let's see who the strongest one really is. I won't hold back then. Here goes.
Switch over to this.
No way we can lose if we fight together. What?
Come on, Goten!
Okay. Fusion!
Obviously, you're gonna, if you play Tenkaichi back in the day, you're gonna have like that 5v5 you know, versus battles. Not like 5 individual players, even though that would be wild. But you know, you pick 5 characters and you know, go at it.
The great Goat Chase is here to take you down.
I can do it.
I'll show you what I'm made of.
Your opponent is the one and only.
If I'm being honest, I think the earliest this game is going to drop is going to be in December.
Ta-da! Rapid fire, super donut.
Best case. Worst case.
Do you really think you can beat me?
I was gonna say probably worst case summer next year, but still, even though I mean, in this era of modern gaming where you know it's like a bunch of DLCs or you know they're shipping something broken, is like, you know, probably take as much time as you need really and truly. But yeah, I think December, January would be a good time to drop this game. Granted, it's not like I have any insight into how far along in terms of development they are, in terms of what's left. But,
I refuse
you know,
to lose to someone who transforms with such a dumb-looking pose.
Your use
Vito
of
greatness.
Chakra is but a blasphemous imitation.
Behold my true power!
I think the game's looking really good.
Finish you once and for all!
Select fool.
The exterminated! Now I'm going to crush those ambitions of yours! This is Vegito Blue!
The only thing I'm disappointed in, or I'm hoping they have, is I know they had in terms of like the beam clashes.
Between two
Instead of the analog, it seems like they're going for like, you know, timing the button clicks. But I still want the analog. I hope they have like a option to like, oh, do you want beam clashes to be analog or like timing the button press? Fine. Of course, they're doing that fighters thing. Trying to get things to be fine coming in now. Summer Game Fest 2024. When is that? That is the better question. Summer Game Fest 2024. Is it supposed to be like the new E3, so to speak? Oh, it's literally next week. I wonder if we'll actually get like a release date. Of course, yeah, I didn't know about I plan to watch the Xbox showcase. for obvious reasons. Video games. I guess it's, for lack of better term, like the new E3, quote unquote. Days of the Devs, Lovely's 15th birthday, Future of Play, Future Game Show. I would imagine like Sparking Zero would probably be like here. Future Game Show. I mean, that would make sense. But yo, listen, I am going to be playing the heck out of Sparking Zero, fam. I mean, I've been playing the heck out of Tekken 8. Despite persons complaining about it recently, but you know, like, so like Sparking Zero is gonna be the next thing, man. It's gonna be the next thing. So I don't know if any of you guys wanna, like, you know, fight it out online. I'm all for it. Always up for the foolishness, honestly. Oh my god. Ah, boy. Alright, let's go back here. I mean, what was interesting this week as well? That's the next thing too. Hold on. Oh, Demon Slayer start back, so there's that going on. Season's going on okay so far. If any of you guys are Demon Slayer fans, I'd be interested to hear what you guys think about the season so far. Let's see here. Close this. Ooh, let's see. Wait, Millennium Kage.
Hey, what's up?
I'm here, man. What's poppin'?
Not much, man, not much. Just got done doing whatever I had to do for today, and saw that you were streaming.
Yeah, you know, it's the last day of the month. You know it goes already.
Yeah, this month just passed by fast.
Man,
It's
the
crazy.
year is going by fast. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're already at the halfway point.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Cause as I was saying earlier, fam, it's like when I'm at work, it's like by the time I do like 1 and 2 things, it's lunchtime, and then after that, it's like it's time to go home, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you on that one.
Rinse and repeat.
But look, I know you were just talking about that Sparking Zero trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything that this game comes out with, it just makes me more and more hyped and excited to play.
Yeah.
Like I wish I could just jump into the. I
Sorry. I just think it's because like it's Tenkaichi, so you know it's a given. But I think as much as persons like are still enjoying Xenoverse 2, it seems like I think persons are just ready for something new.
Yeah, in the same boat as well with that. Speaking of Xenoverse 2, my interest has been reinvigorated in that because they released the DLC and an unexpected character at that too. It was Z Broly in his Super Saiyan form.
Yeah, I saw.
They did a fantastic job with that. And the reason why is because I'm pretty sure they changed I forgot what exactly was the role was, but basically like a lead on there. And so far his changes has been fantastic. I mean, that Z Broly character alone is fantastic, and he's saying and he's implemented, you know, different things in the new DLC.
Yeah.
And he says some things, you know, and if he does as good as he did with this last DLC, then you know that'll spur my interest back into the game.
I mean, even looking at gameplay for the Super Saiyan God Vegeta that they dropped as well, it seems like he plays really well. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, especially Goku Black. They finally added in his scythe,
Yeah.
which everyone was asking for. So no, I'm really excited to see where they go, because Universe is just that cockroach that won't die, you know.
It's
no matter what.
insane, fam. Like,
Yeah.
I won't make any promises, but I don't know if I'll ever get back into Xenoverse 2. I don't know. I feel like it's too far gone for me. Yeah, man, because I remember playing like the first Xenoverse that came out, played that to its completion. When Xenoverse 2 dropped, I got it. I'm like, played that to its completion. I love the improvements that they did, and it's like, okay, cool. Then I eventually, put that down, and then it's like DLC after DLC. I'm like, God, fam, shit. When is Xenoverse 3 coming out?
Yeah, I know. It's like, it's amazing. It's amazing how long this game has gone on.
It's crazy.
It truly is.
Yo, walkie talkie, what's up, man? Yeah, man, we're here. But yeah, like, but yeah, for me personally, I don't think I'll ever really get back into Xenoverse 2, but more power to the people, more power to the people.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely have their dedicated fan base, at least the fan base, they really care about the game, and they keep coming back to it for a reason. So, it's something in there that clicks with them. So, I'm glad for them.
Yeah.
There's something like Dragon Ball, like there's something for, like, there are things for it that's for everyone, Like Xenoverse is a MMO type game. At least I think I'm using it correctly, but I'm not sure.
What did I say, MMO?
No,
I wouldn't really say.
Now there's another term I'm looking for, but it's just that type of game where you can you can customize your character, go on journeys, that type of game.
Yeah, the term is not really have my tongue on the term right now, but I get you.
Yeah.
I was kind of trying to estimate, but when do you think Sparking Zero is gonna drop?
Okay. Okay. So I've been hearing rumors about it dropping at the earliest is the first week of October.
Oh,
Because
wow.
that's when the previous Budokai games release. They all release in the first week of October. And
That's sooner than I thought.
apparently there was like yeah, I'm surprised too. That's like what, 4 months away? 3? But like there was rumors, and then there was like a little leak that dropped. And I also had people guessing for October. But me personally, as much as I would love that for that to happen,
Yeah.
October seems really early for me. But yeah, I'm just looking at a 2025 release date, honestly.
I mean, I wouldn't mind 2025 either, because it just want to make sure, like, once the game drops, even though it's an era of DLC and stuff, once the game drops, I want it to have, like, it's the bugs are ironed out for the most part. It doesn't have, there shouldn't be like a half-baked product essentially.
Yeah, I totally agree, because even like the first trailer reveal that they did, it was like a picture of Super Saiyan God Goku, and then they updated it in one of their in their later trailers, and like the model difference is just insane. So like they're tweaking it, even as they release the trailers and all that.
Yeah,
And
man,
I'm very confident that
that's one thing I definitely love
no.
in terms of just seeing the progress of the trailers. Just like the improvements, because even like that first even the first like gameplay that we got with Goku versus Vegeta, it looked good, but like I think one thing like a lot of persons will consistently say that first gameplay looked a bit like when the characters would move from side to side, it kind of seemed a bit stiff, but things kind of seem like they're progressing with each trailer. We have Walkie Talkie here saying he loves Budokai 2 for the board game mode. Yeah, definitely. When I got my PS2 back in the day, Budokai 2 was the only game I had for the longest while. So I have fond memories of playing Budokai 2.
Yeah, you and me both. I remember when I was younger, I had a GameCube. Well,
Yeah.
actually, it was my cousin's GameCube, but he ended up giving it to me. And my first ever Dragon Ball game was Budokai 1.
Yeah.
And I have like fond memories with that game. Though, and we all shared this experience if you play Budokai 1, where the Raditz mission, you had to move the analog stick.
Yeah.
No one could. Look, my 6-year-old self was frustrated and crying. like my dad tried to help me with it. He couldn't do anything, so
Struggles,
man.
fam, struggles.
I
But
know.
I don't think I played Budokai 1 until maybe like a year or two after I played Budokai 2, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Budokai 1, yeah, it holds up in some regards. Like obviously 2 and 3, like they improve on it in like every way. But I
Yeah.
still think Budokai 1 holds up in terms of story mode. Because the story mode in that game is actually pretty good. I was replaying it a few weeks ago and it holds up pretty
Still
well.
holds up. Nice.
Yeah, like even though the graphics are outdated and all that, it just does a good job of presentation.
Hmm.
That feels like close to the anime and manga.
Yeah.
'Cause I just reread the Dragon Ball manga
Oh,
from
nice.
start to finish. Yeah, and then I was playing a game. I'm like, wow, like you could tell that the devs really they knew what they were dealing with and their passion in recreating the anime, And once I felt that, it just gave me the mindset of, it aged pretty well in terms of presentation and story mode, at least.
Hmm. Alright, fair enough, fair enough. Budokai 1. I'll definitely probably go back and watch some cutscenes or something.
Yeah, it's definitely an acquired taste, though.
Well, I mean, yeah, comparing. I mean, yeah, I think if someone were to like jump into Budokai 1 like for the first time today in 2024, yeah, it might be an acquired taste, but I still think they'd enjoy it, to say the least. If they even fight like just for the fun of it, just to make fun of it, quote unquote, yeah, at least that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like a lot of Dragon Ball. Like there's so many games and things that they've done with Dragon Ball. Like I said, like there's a Dragon Ball for everyone. You got fighters for the fighting scene, Tenkaichi and Raging Blast for the more casual
Yeah.
scene. But those games can be, they have depth to them, like a lot of depth.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't
because
just put it in the casual.
because I mean, once you kind of get a handle of the mechanics and all of that, and it's like, okay, timing, it's like with anything in life, it's like when and how to use certain, assets essentially. So trust me, anybody that's going to be thinking, yeah, it's on the surface, yeah, it's for the more casual, but it's like once you get to the fight like a top tier player, you like say, oh shit, I have to up my game.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you just gave me flashbacks. Oh my goodness. I was fighting against this really good Super 17 player on Tenkaichi 3, and wow, yeah, it opened up a world for me and ways for me to step my game up.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely more in depth than it seems.
How do you think the DLC scene is going to like pan out for Sparking Zero? Because I already see persons even today like kind of talking that maybe like you had, like for example, you have Gogeta, of course, and of course in brackets it's Super. So persons are already saying maybe even Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, the iconic character from the Tenkaichi series, is going to be DLC, which would be wild if I'm being quite honest.
I know, because the original Budokai Tenkaichi 3, it came out, everybody, no DLC at all. Of course, this was in an age where DLC wasn't as prevalent as it is today.
True.
But, yeah, like you said, I've heard things online. I've been talking to people about it, too. And I'm just gonna set one thing straight now.
Yeah.
I'm one of the people who actually like loves GT. I know, but I
no
love
pressure.
GT. And like just knowing, well, not knowing because it's not confirmed, but I think at this point in time, GT is most likely going to be DLC because they said 164 character slots. I'm pretty sure already like halfway completed, and we already know that Z characters are going to be in it, super characters are going to be in it, and a lot of other characters haven't been confirmed from those series, and they're going to fill out the majority of those remaining like 80 spots or so. So maybe they'll add in like 1 or 2 GT characters, but as it hurts me to say that they're most likely going to be DLC along with the movie and original Dragon Ball characters.
It's crazy to think about, fam. Hold on. Let me just bring up back that last the character panel here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they still have room for a lot of characters which could come from Z. So I don't know. Maybe they could have like some, like maybe Kid Goku from GT, maybe like some of the lower tiers, quote unquote, from GT. But if like the entire GT roster they have planned would be DLC, that'd be wild.
It would be wild. Like I'm hoping they bamboozle us, and everyone's included at launch. But I don't know, because we're working off that 164 character roster. They count transformations as different characters. And if it's one thing about Dragon Ball is that there are a lot of transformations.
Exactly.
So,
I mean,
but
yeah.
I was just about to say, on the flip side, if it's gonna be a DLC, which it will, there's no way they're not gonna do it as DLC. On the flip side, there's gonna be so many characters and forms from Super that they're gonna include in there. That'll hold me over until they do release a DLC, because there's gonna be tons of things you can do in the game, and getting to play as aside from Xenoverse and Fighters, getting to play in the Tenkaichi experience officially as Super Saiyan Blue gods, fusions officially, it's just amazing, especially with the trailer from yesterday. Like I can't wait to play
bro,
I can't wait to play all of them. Like everything, everything is just top notch for this game.
Not gonna lie. Like, all right, that's the next thing too. Like, I'm pretty sure we'll have the characters down pat. DLC or not, but like,
right,
game modes, man. Like, of course, the usual 5v5 Tenkaichi. Do we have like a nice? I don't remember the game modes from Tenkaichi 3. Was there like a wide variety of game modes from what I can remember? From what you can remember, sorry.
Yeah, so there's the player versus computer type story mode. There was a world tournament mode. A world tournament mode. There was like 1 or 2 other modes, which it was more of like it's like a training scenario where you would fight players and then come back.
Yeah.
Like another day and then level up your character, something like that.
I know they had like the kind of what if kind of missions as well. It would be nice if they went all out with that, like similar to like how Storm Connection has that wild original story mode, like like an original story mode in this as well. That would be very interesting.
That's interesting because they're for sure going to do a super story mode, and people were saying even from like last trailer that those things that were shown could potentially be what if scenarios, like Gogeta versus Vegito. Yeah. And then you have Goten Trunks interacting with Kale and Caulifla. So I would be more surprised if they didn't include a what if scenario.
Yeah, I would
than
be
if
too.
they did.
But I'm just kind of betting on the production quality of that What If scenario. Like, you know, like it being like an all-out like cutscene story mode alongside like what you would expect for like the like a super story mode and everything. Maybe, just maybe, even though I know most of us are kind of tired of the whole, oh, let's start at Raditz. Maybe.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Honestly, I know this is my biggest gripe with Dragon Ball games. You know, you always got to start from the beginning with Raditz, and it just gets annoying. It does, just having to play through that.
Maybe,
But-
just maybe, like similar to how Storm Connections has like that history mode, like where select fights, maybe select fights from Z. Or I guess again, since it's modern gaming, maybe it could be like you only have the super story mode with the base game, but eventually like for DLC, like oh relive Z or something.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, walkie-talkie here saying Xenoverse is a what's its scenario game. Yeah, that's true. But I still think it would be an awesome opportunity for them to, you know, try their hand at like something in Sparking Zero as well. Like, you know, instead of like, you know, how they do like an original movie back in the day, let's create a movie, quote unquote, but let's make it the actual what if scenario in the game or something like that. And maybe you only unlock it after like you finish the main story or something.
Yeah, of course. Like, there's so many what if scenarios you could do with Super. So, yeah, just all the characters that could interact with each other. What if battles? There's like a lot you could do.
Yeah, true. Man, I'm looking forward to it, man. Like, for me personally, as I said, December, January, I think that would be the perfect time. But again, I guess it depends on what they say next week at the whole Summer Game Showcase. Because I guess either another trailer or maybe just develop a commentary maybe next week.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get the the meat and potatoes next week.
Yeah.
Because I heard that they were going to do a demo too over there.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, if they do a demo, or if they even make a demo like available, I'm definitely gonna have to do like a stream, get my get my ass kicked or something.
Yeah,
Yo. Yo, trust me.
I hope so too, because it would be a great thing to get used to the gameplay and combat before we're just overwhelmed at a release date playing the game.
Yeah,
At least we have some time to get used to it.
Cause trust me, fam, you know the algorithm like Sparking Zero will be all over YouTube. Like everybody will be seeing it. It's crazy, fam.
It is. Yeah, when that releases, I'm probably gonna call off work. Just erase everything from my schedule. Like, it's just me and Sparking Zero.
Bro, it's going to be wild. Not gonna lie. But I guess we'll definitely see what's happening for next week, man. Definitely.
Yeah, the next week. I do have one question for you though.
Yeah, man, sure.
Oh, so you know that the trailers, they all have a specific theme of what they go with.
Yeah.
You know, this one was fusions. So, do you have any ideas of what the next trailer's theme would be?
Let's see. So this one was fusions. Of course, the previous one before this was rivals, right? Yeah.
Oh no, it was a student and pupil.
Yeah.
Or student and master, or something like that.
And then the previous one was before that was rivals. Huh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to kind
I'm-
of establish like a pattern here, because let's see. Rivals, student and master, fusions. What was before it? Before the rivals one, that was the Goku and Vegeta gameplay, right?
Wait, no. They actually did have a trailer for that one. So it was just Goku and Vegeta. We were going through like their biggest moments in fights.
Yeah, I think
And
that
then
was
that
the rivals
gameplay was
one.
just something of its own. Yeah.
I'm thinking, what
'Cause
would
me
I
personally-
even want that next trailer to be in terms of theme?
I think we might get a villains trailer.
That could make sense because obviously they're doing the themes in a way that they could introduce characters they haven't introduced before. So having villains and Frieza. Let me look back on the board. Of course, there's already Frieza and Cell on the character select. Yeah, Cell is already there. Zamasu is there. Frieza. I'm not seeing Frieza here, but of course he was in like a trailer, so but maybe they could do like a villains. And then since there's only one version of Cell here, maybe they could show like the other versions of Cell, the other versions of Frieza, the other versions of Boo. So they could do that.
Yeah.
Or they could do either probably a trailer with the theme of generations or legacy, and probably that's how they'll start showing some GT characters, maybe.
Hopefully. I'm just wishing for any crumb of GT.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because it's like the tradition where even if persons didn't like GT, they just love the characters in the games. Yeah.
Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. All the Super Saiyan 4 forms. Like even the villains. Omega Shenron, Super 17, you know, the other Shadow Dragons, baby Vegeta. Yeah, so they got a pretty decent selection.
Yeah,
Characters
definitely.
to play as.
Definitely. Oh my god. Well,
Dude,
all in due time. Well, you know what would be interesting if they release it around the same time as even Daima, which I guess could work.
oh, when is that? Do you know? Have they even released a release date for that yet?
Like a exact date? No, apart from like fall. So
Huh?
yeah,
That would be really good.
yeah, it would really be good. Like, so I mean, if it does end up being like October, I guess a middle ground for me maybe like would be like November.
Yeah, cause you know there's a holiday season. You know they would want to get it out before. So I think yeah, November, October would be a great date for it to release. Because if not in the winter, I don't know like where in 2025 they could release it. That would make sense.
I mean, if they release it in 2025, for Sparking Zero, I'd be up for more so like that March, April. I think that would be, I guess, the limit for me.
Yeah, cause right now it doesn't seem like it's too it doesn't seem like it's too far from a release date. You know, like it's not like they're in pre-production or anything like that. They're actively showing us gameplay and trailers for it. So I think in the next, I don't know, but it shouldn't be too long at all.
I mean, if we don't get the release date next week, then my prediction is maybe by the end of July we'll get a release date. I just think that maybe somebody there is like saying, yo, we could probably set a release date now, but we don't want to hammer ourselves in. No pressure. Let's just continue doing work and smooth things out. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think they're taking their time with it and being extra cautious with the game.
Yeah. The walkie-talkie is saying villain trail would be dope only if they do a custom original cutscene. Give it to the company that does the cutscenes for the Chinese Naruto mobile game. I think I did see one of those trailers. Like, you had one there with Obito and thing when he was killing the police force. that's the one you're referring to, let me know. But that should be it. Those were actually pretty cool. Those were actually pretty cool. Alright, well, no release date is the same approach Ninja Kiwi takes and other games, getting it earlier, nobody cares. Oh, hell breaks loose. Yeah, true. So Millennium, I don't know. Any expectations or little nuances when it comes on to the Two Blue Vortex with Sarada specifically?
If anything, this chapter just made me even more confident in her taking more of a spotlight in the story. She already had a significant spotlight on her throughout this whole Two Blue Vortex thing, which I think was a brilliant move, because when you have Boruto out the picture and you start off the time skip, you know, the option that makes, you know, the most sense in my opinion is Sarada. You know, she was there, like she's one of the only people who knows about Omnics, and if you want to start off your time skip with a more how should say, like a main, like a regular perspective,
Yeah.
the closest person to that would be Sarada, because she's a main character, and seeing things through her eyes, we get to experience the frustration of this situation, and it just makes sense because Kishimoto, he, like his first official story, if it wasn't a movie, then it would have been the Seventh Hokage in the Scarlet Spring, which featured Sarada as the main protagonist. So I feel like he has like the type of connection with her that allows him to write her in a good way, especially different from his previous female characters. And I really love what he's doing because it's just a fresh take, honestly. And the fact that, you know, not only does she have the subplot with her and Boruto and omnipotence and all that, she also has the Hidari subplot as well. And they're finally interacting, which I honestly didn't think it was going to happen anytime soon, because it seemed like he was keeping her away from Hidari, because her and Sumire, they didn't seem to be making any meaningful distance towards them. And I was like, oh, once they finish the 10 Tails assault, you know, they'll have it in a way which they don't make it to the Shinju. But no, they actually did.
Yeah, that's
now,
the
I can't
next
remember
thing.
if,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, I can't remember if she's still dealing with Hidari right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Like after he attacked her with Hidari.
I mean, she was just wondering like what's going on. So it's not like we've had anything big outside of Shidori. So I am expecting for next chapter for them to, you know, get some nice panel time, maybe a nice little fight going, so I can get some idea of where to place her, you know, from a power standpoint.
Yeah.
Because as I was saying
that
earlier
was
in the stream, is like I think persons want to jump and ready to say, oh yo, Sarada's god level, and I'm like, fam, calm down, let's just wait till the fight, let's see what's happening first.
Yeah, I agree. No, that was a very good showing, if anything.
Yeah, I mean it's still impressive
because-
dodging, so but still let's wait.
We got to hold our tails, you know. She's not a Shibai level yet, like.
Right? And as Waki's saying here, it's like, yeah, Hidari looked at her unfazed, really and truly. So, and that's the next thing. I know I was making a point earlier that maybe, who knows, maybe like the Shinju could be a lot of raw power, but probably in terms of a certain skill level, a certain skill, they don't have it. But it could also be the case, like, oh, you know, little nuances like, okay, I have Sasuke's chakra, maybe I want to consume her, but I can't fully go all out, or you know, something like nuance like that, you know.
Yeah, that is true, because they are holding off of consuming anyone.
Yeah,
That's also another thing to take into consideration. I was thinking that that people really underestimate Sarada in the community, because even as recent as, what was it, chapter 2, that one Jonin, he was looking at Sarada and he was like, is she really a, he was saying something like, is she really a Chunin? She's like at Jonin level or something like that. The amount of skill she was showing.
I'm gonna go back to, I think.
So it's like, it's been
chapter 2, I think.
yeah, it's always been acknowledged in verse of her skill level. And I was thinking that maybe she was having more, like, we can't forget that she's a Uchiha at the end of the day, and they're powered by emotions. So I think that she was maybe over the time skip, she was getting maybe emotional amps, you know, because throughout the whole time skip, you know, she was like angry and frustrated at everyone around her and the situation at hand. You know, like, Boruto's been framed, her father's gone, no one believes what she's saying. She has like all this pent up like emotion inside of her. And I'm not saying like this is getting her to like god levels or anything, but I do think it should be something to be noted at the very least.
Yeah, I get you on that. I would definitely factor that in, but I'm still mostly leaning towards hoping her Mangekyo has like the right amount of hacks to kind of offset things until she can get up to par, you know. That's what I'm kind of hoping for, because really and truly, yeah, the emotional thing with the Uchiha is a factor, but like, do you think it's to the point? I mean, like, if you were to put her against like Madara Uchiha right now, like not 10 tails, just full power EMS, like, I still couldn't see Sarada winning. So
no, not at all, not at all.
So unless
that Mangekyo is gonna be heavy lift. No, sorry, that Mangekyo is gonna be doing the heavy lifting. Unless they introduce something unforeseen in the story before, or she does get it up there in a way that makes sense.
Well, unless, as I said, unless she was training with Damon or something, that would be like the only other way for this to make sense, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what other ways she could get stronger in. Well, there are ways she could get stronger, but in a way that gets her to where the top tiers are, or at least on the same level or tier as them. Yeah, that Mangekyo has to put in some serious work, because we don't even know what it does or anything.
Yeah, exactly. And then there is the possibility of her getting like the Kakashi treatment, where he would have unlocked the Mangekyo but doesn't know he has the Mangekyo. So yeah, that would be stupid.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, that typical shonen power cliffing that happens.
It's crazy.
Where characters are just stronger just because of a time skip or whatnot.
I mean, yeah, but it's like I was saying earlier, like, even like, I think within the Naruto verse, it's not that bad. I know persons would complain and could make arguments for the power scaling, but I don't think it's that bad within the Naruto universe in terms of like going generation by generation, you know?
No, for sure. Especially in part 1, the power scaling was pretty much perfect. Shippuden, it made sense in Shippuden, you know. Things did get a little confusing towards the end, but it wasn't anything major. Now, in Boruto, since it was like a 15-year time skip, I think that's when things got really wonky. It was hard to really gauge power levels.
Yeah, because I think usually happens with these things, unfortunately, is that when it comes down to those big time skip and the authors take breaks, and then you have us, the fans, who are looking at every single detail and all of that. And I'm not saying that the author is taking like a surface level approach to power scaling. He's still involved, but it's not to that nitty-gritty like us, the fans. So it kind of comes down to like whole, okay, it's been 15 years on paper, which is what I usually like to say, Naruto and Sasuke should be this, But the author, because of him not being as invested as us the fans, is doing
Right.
and I know that might sound wild to say, but and
No, I totally
Yeah.
get what you're coming from.
so it's like the power scale becomes very ambiguous, where it's like, no, but Naruto should have been able to do this in this situation, and then it leads to us the fans like, but oh man,
He should have been
war
able to do something he did in the pain or
yeah, like
war,
war art
like,
Naruto is stronger,
he's not-
and then you have all this back and forth, and you know,
Yeah, no. I totally agree because not he. You could say those are writers of like almost any major series out there. They're not hyper fixated. They're not, they're not like us super fans who analyze everything bit by bit. You know, they could just like even on Kishimoto as an artist. Like okay, just like an example of a Naruto character being Lightspeed.
yeah,
Someone he could have just drawn that panel and been like, "Oh, this character's moving fast," and like thought nothing of it. But then we take it as, "Oh, this is undeniable proof that such and such is 10 times the speed of light."
yeah,
When
you
it
know,
could've just been
right?
Simple as, "Oh, I'm just drawing this thing," like okay,
Exactly.
perfect example, right?
Yeah.
I forgot who Susanoo it was, but I think it was Madara's, where it cut a cliff in half or something. Am I recalling that correctly?
If his Susanoo was what?
Was it cut a cliff in half, or a mountain? I should say.
Oh yeah, when he showed it to the
Like, just-
Kages,
it's
his
a
perfect
one swipe.
Susanoo. Yeah.
Yeah, and then people were looking at the Boruto manga, and this is done by a different mangaka, Ikimoto, where it shows in the Jigen fight, Sasuke, he tries to hit Jigen, he misses, but it hits the floor and he leaves a big crater, but it's not the mountain slice that was shown by Madara, and people are like, "Oh, he's like, what's going on here? This is inconsistent. This is proof that Sasuke's Susanoo is not as strong as Madara's." But I'm just thinking it could have just been an artistic thing, like Ikimoto probably wasn't going back to the Naruto manga and thinking, "Oh, I should show the same level of destruction." He just wanted to show the impact shot, and
Exactly.
I think we think too much into things, I feel.
Yeah, I would definitely.
So not
agree.
power scale. I keep that in mind. Not things aren't as literal as they're shown to us. It's all about what the author shows and implies, mostly.
Yeah.
And that's what I base my scaling off a lot because of narrative. So, and if we're gonna connect that back to the Sarada thing, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm putting her above base Kawaki, maybe even Karma Kawaki, maybe.
Interesting.
Because I don't think Kawaki he's gotten weaker. He's definitely rusty.
Yeah.
He hasn't shown as remarkable feats because he's gonna attack. He got surprise attacked by a Shinju. His head was eating dirt. And then you have Sarada. She didn't even know he'd already no, she dodged him like seamlessly. Like she's been just portrayed better than Kawaki.
Yeah, man, the Kawaki stocks are down. Completely.
Oh man,
It's crazy.
in the trash.
Um,
But yeah, I'll even go as far to say as
yeah.
even Mitsuki. He's above a base Kawaki, maybe Karma Kawaki, but I'm not sure. It's definitely hard to say. But out of all those characters, you have Sarada, Boruto, who else? Yeah, Sarada and Boruto. They've been the highlights of Two Blue Vortex, and also like I'm not gonna go as far as to say like she's code level, but
No, definitely not.
no, but she's definitely been portrayed better than those characters listed.
Yeah. Hold on. Kwaki Talk is saying, to be fair, we want to see characters struggle in new situations they have never seen before. So it isn't about them figuring it out, it's about how they overcome it and why. Fair enough. Saisa's sound isn't what makes it a threat, it's the hardness and speed and abilities. Plus the author said he doesn't want to draw war destruction anymore, he wants to scale it back. Fair enough. Mellow!
Yo.
What's up, bro? What's up? What's up? I was just listening. It's
Yeah,
vibing.
man,
It's
I'm
good.
here, man.
You're welcome.
Nice, nice. Is that Millennium Kaga?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me. Hey, how you doing, man?
What's up, man? How you been?
Pretty good, pretty good. You know, just chilling out with Sanjay, talking about everything, it seems like.
Nice.
No
Nice,
pressure.
nice.
How have you been, Mellow?
Yeah, I just wanted to hop on and say what's up, bro.
Not much,
Doing
man.
the stream.
Not much, you know. End of
What
month.
do you guys
intro.
I heard you guys talking about Sarada, but outside of that, what else were you guys? I think I was in here. You guys were talking about like a Dragon Ball game.
Yeah, we were talking
I
about
kinda
Sparking
left.
Zero for quite a bit.
Oh, bet. Is it good? I haven't
Yeah.
played it.
I
haven't played
mean-
a Dragon Ball game in a minute.
Hasn't dropped yet, but I mean, once it drops, trust me, you'll see it everywhere. You'll know when it drops. Trust me.
Yeah.
That
Is a Dragon Ball's biggest fan. Best Dragon Ball game incoming.
nice.
Like it's basically playing it's like basically playing the Broly movie, like but in a video game. That's how good it is, or how it looks anyway. Amazing.
You've been waiting years for this, man. It's basically Tenkaichi 4, basically.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. Budokai Tenkaichi.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna probably have to pull up on this one.
I'm telling you,
Well,
man.
dude, if it's like Xenoverse, I probably won't like it. There's too many angles like to fight from. I kind of like the little side, like, I mean, Tenkaichi wasn't really like that. It was kind of like more, I don't know,
Yeah.
like
One-on-one.
3D ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you could fly around and like there's a whole like ass map versus like Budokai, which was just kind of like a what do you call it, like a side side scroller fighter
Yeah.
or something.
I
like
guess
that.
you could say 2.5D fighter, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah. I like them both though, but yeah, I'll let people play it first before I make a purchase and see how it goes.
I mean, I would usually do that, but I'm gonna risk it with this one and try to hook on day one. I know, it's risky, but I'm taking the risk, man.
Yeah, I rock.
No,
that, I rock
everything
that.
they've shown is just really amazing. Like it's a gorgeous game, even from like the demo. Like if you want to get a taste or a look at how it plays, they released a was it 3 minutes of gameplay, so like you can watch it and see how it'll fit to your gaming sensibilities, I guess. But no,
Okay.
it's really good.
Oh, I see. Afro Sinju reacted to something recently.
Yeah, because they had dropped a
Right,
trailer yesterday. Was that was yesterday, right? Or was that today?
Oh, yesterday.
Okay, yeah, I'm
It
Oh,
losing
I
was
track
like
of
the
time.
yesterday.
I like the kind of like a retro look.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't look like too modern with the graphics, or at least the art style. It looks very like that kind of like blocky, like video game-ish look from like the old school ones.
yeah.
I kind of like that.
It should be about like it's about what, 5 trailers to date Millennium. Yeah,
Yeah,
about 5
Yeah,
trailers.
got
pretty
Head
much.
Yeah, but no release date.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's crazy. Mello, what do you think about the whole Sarada situation in the manga right now, though? I don't think I've managed to sit down and take in like your opinions on it like that.
What's her situation specifically?
Like, I know with her quote, it's not much, but she's Dachidori Shidori. I know some persons might want to jump on and try to power skill from early already, but
Yeah, in terms of that, yeah, I have her pretty high,
yeah,
just given the context of it all. It's not a lot. I think a lot of people they want you to come up with something like super definitive or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of it's just like, hey, we're trying to get, a foundation to even have the discussion, because a lot of that information you just won't ever get. So you have to
exactly.
like use induction and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I think there's enough there to get her to like god tier for sure. But also
Yeah.
it just depends on where you want to scale Hirari, right? I know Bar had a bit of a contention about where I scaled Hirari to Boruto, relative to Boruto. So if you scale Hirari like lower or whatever, then that's obviously going to scale Sarada's feats lower. But it just depends on what you want to do. But I think ultimately, just to remember the goal is to have fun with it, not take it too seriously.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we were
completely
just
agree.
talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a war
Yeah,
zone.
like-
Every conversation has to be a battle. It's like, nah, man, it's just having
Exactly.
fun.
Just chillax,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, we're just trying to talk about the characters, story,
Yeah, because I'm saying, fam, maybe you could kind of gauge, but still have so much more to see to get more context in terms of where to even place her. I mean, as you said, I think between genetics, the characters that are around her, she definitely has a path to like become god level, but let's not make any hasty assumptions. And I know, of course, we're at the point where you could say a lot of characters are obviously like beyond Jigen because the story kind of demands it. But I was saying, I think when it comes on to characters in Naruto making some crazy jumps, it's never been like a Dragon Ball Super where it's nonsensical. Like I think it's always, or for the most part, handled like a logical, sensical fashion essentially. So really and truly, I personally don't believe Sarada is that high, but I think when it comes on to this fight with Hidari that's coming up, we'll at least get like that clear-cut path that she has to take to get to that point.
So at the top tiers, right? Like what do you think the difference is? Like what creates a gap between like say a Ishiki and like a Naruto and Sasuke who have like 6-pass like power? Like where's that gap come from? Is it quantity? Is it quality in terms of their chakra? Like what do you think?
Wow, that's a good question. Because I don't think I think after a certain point there is like a diminishing returns in terms of skill, and based on like say for example that same example you just gave, like between like Naruto and Sasuke with 6 paths versus you said Ishiki, right? Even though obviously Ishiki has a ridiculous amounts of chakra, based on his fighting style, it's not like he's ever portrayed like nothing as impressive looking superficially on the surface as say like Naruto amping the entire like army like for Shinobi Alliance. So really and truly, I think the difference basically comes from one, genetics starting, and then just the potential of those genetics really and truly. I don't know if I would say anything from the story itself, based on what they've shown us from a fighting standpoint, that indicates to me that Ishiki has this tons more chakra compared to like say a 6-paths Naruto. But you would think like on paper, like behind the scenes, that probably should be the case.
Yeah, I think so I'm sorry. So what was your answer?
I don't have a clear-cut answer. I'm not ashamed to admit that.
Fair enough. Yeah. No, because I was thinking about it. Because I was thinking, what exactly, like, if Sarada's dodging Hidari's attack or whatever, like, I'm thinking, why couldn't like Minato do that? I was thinking, like, why? Like, what exactly does she have that he doesn't? Outside of like the Sharingan, obviously, but I'm thinking, and then I started thinking, okay, well, in the case of like 6-pass chakra, it's definitely like a quality thing. It's just like, I think it's implied to be like a higher tier,
Yeah,
than like KCM2 with Sage Mode and like EMS, and it's shown too. But then also just imply based upon like, oh, it's just a different kind of chakra, like a higher quality, more potent.
yeah.
So I think that kind of works. I'm leaning more so towards quality rather than quantity. I'm not sure how quantity really. I mean, I know how it factors in combat. I don't know. I kind of wish like the mechanics were a little bit more fleshed out in terms of like how the chess match in a fight plays out.
Yeah,
in that sense, because
it's just little nuances that I'm still waiting to get fleshed out. That's the thing with me.
I don't think it's ever going to get fleshed out. To be honest with you,
Dang it.
because I was doing this like thing on my stream where it was like, okay, if I'm a shinobi,
Yeah,
with like I'm not like anything really special. I'm just like a normal, I don't know, jonin.
like that
And
one.
then I'm going up against
Just to cut you there,
Yeah.
like that one guy in the anime that kind of for a second went hand to hand with Madara when he was just introduced.
oh god, I hope I'm not that guy. Yeah, I think that guy ended up face down, ass up in his grave. Yeah, I hope I ain't do that. I'm not quite. Maybe I settle for a Zabuza. Okay, I'll be happy with a Zabuza. But yeah, so if I'm like a normal Jonin shinobi, and I'm going up against another Jonin like out in the wild, how does that fight work mechanically? Like, because I'm thinking like you can't fight head up unless you have like if you don't have like sensory abilities to know what your opponent is like using.
Yeah,
I would imagine it's like, hey, I'm gonna put like a certain percentage in this jutsu or this punch or this kick, and then like my opponent has to match that percentage.
yeah,
I would imagine if the quantity is, if you're assuming is equal, then it would be like how much goes into any given movement or jutsu. But then how would you ever know? You have to make an assumption. Your assumption could be wrong, and then maybe you can match up like, okay, they use fire style, I use water style if I have it. But I was like, okay, well, the ninja's art is deception, so I'm thinking, okay, well, you wouldn't want a head-up fight, actually. What you would want to do is, like, drop a smoke bomb and catch him off guard.
yeah.
So that you won't even have to deal with, like, the chess match of, like, guessing how much it goes into whatever. But, so when it comes to, like, the top tiers, I'm thinking, like, they're not doing the ninja thing. They're doing the Dragon Ball Z thing, where it's not, like, yeah, like, every now and again, you'll get, like, Sasuke and Naruto do, like, a combo move versus Momoshiki, which is cool. But for the most part, they're just like fighting head up. So I'm thinking that's probably a really, really bad tactic at the top tiers if you're not scaling. Like Naruto and Sasuke should not have had a head up with Ishiki. I feel like they should have done like sneak attacks and that type shit.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know, it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, I think as long as it never gets to the point where, or if this did happen, have we ever gotten that Dragon Ball thing in like the Naruto universe where like one guy punches the next guy in the face and he's just standing there? I don't, as long as things don't get to that point, I think we should be good. Because I mean, I like having discussions like this. You have Walkie Talkie saying it's chakra control plus efficiency plus rock paper scissors plus real world physics advantage. I mean, and I think that's a fair thing to say. It can always be like a combination of like multiple factors at any one point in time, really and truly.
How does chakra control manifest itself in combat though? Outside of like like I know in Sarada's case she was having chakra control issues, which resulted in poor stamina. So I know it's going to determine how like long you can fight, for sure, or like how much chakra you put into any given technique or whatever.
More of a stamina thing, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much like, because that would just play into like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna hit this guy with an earth style jutsu, but how much chakra do I need to put into the jutsu to even be effective? Or like I'm gonna punch him really hard, hopefully like in the fight, but like I need to output enough to get past his durability. It's like that weird little back and forth that you gotta kind of guess. That's why I think like sensory ninjas are so like kind of OP.
Yeah.
Like Sharingan users or even Byakugan users, because they can like regulate. Okay, my opponent is putting this much chakra into like this clone or this punch, so I can like do 1% more and then win that exchange. It's kind of like a anti-meta ability or whatever. It's kind of interesting.
I've never actually, like the way you're even dissecting and like talking about it in terms of what goes into like the differences between like X and Y. I've never actually thought about it like that, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think it's super important because like when you're trying to figure, okay, well, Sarada, what exactly is she accomplishing in that feat, right? Like, okay, well, she's obviously like using chakra to amp her like physical stats, given how that's explained in the series. I think Sharingan was a little less effective because Hidari was in mid attack and she reacted in base and then activated it. Sharingan's more effective if you have a little bit more of a window to work with, so you can predict what's going to happen. So even in that case, like her Sharingan's going to give her like a pseudo speed amp, just her ability to move quicker than normal because she's fighting like a future version of her opponent.
Yeah.
But that was diminished. So I'm like, okay, she must. It's actually kind of crazy what she did. Like she reacted in base. It was fast enough to get her Sharingan activated. I imagine from there she assessed how much like chakra he was putting into like his movement speed or whatever you want to call it, striking speed, combat speed, and then like adjusted hers to be use chakra control to like amp hers faster or like put more percentage into her physical body to make her physical movements beyond his. And that's the reason why she was able to dodge. That's how I would like kind of guesstimate it, or like kind of break it down. So that kind of is super interesting because then it's like, okay, well, if you can do that, like Itachi has a Sharingan. So what's stopping Itachi from scaling to a god tier combatant if the god tier combatant through chakra control is not outputting like a lot of chakra in any given attack or whatever the case may be? It's like super interesting how you like, if you think about it in that sense and trying to break down how the fights work mechanically. I think you can maybe get a little closer to understanding why a Sarada scales to begin with or something of the sort. But yeah, just my thoughts.
No, man, awesome thoughts as per usual, man. Honestly. What? Still gonna have to wait until we get some more context for this because all we know, Hidari could be like, oh, okay, I was using like 0.01% of like my reaction time, speed, etc. So yeah, that's the thing.
Given Bug's case, I mean I think the Shinju is stronger than the original Bug. I would imagine. I don't know how strong Bug was, but so I think it might follow. I mean, not necessarily, but I think we're gonna maybe make a logical assumption or conclusion there that Hidari should be stronger than at least Sasuke. And if you go back to like, if you go back to the chat, and I think Sasuke, and this is just my guess, I think Sasuke probably got stronger while training Boruto for that 1 year.
I wouldn't be
that's
surprised.
Just a guess. Yeah, and if you look at that chapter, I'm sorry, continue.
No, I'm sorry. No, I was just about to say he definitely didn't stagnate. Constantly being on the run, training Boruto. Yeah, I think he may have increased as well because he was able to tag code, which is pretty impressive on its own. Because even though it was from Amado's mouth, he was saying that one-on-one with the Hokage, he might actually kill Naruto. And like I said, even though it's just a statement, it's still impressive that he was able to do permanent damage on code in that manner, and he's been debuffed. So yeah,
I think that would make sense because if we're thinking about it, that it's been 3 years, right? And obviously Boruto, I would say, is definitely beyond Sasuke right now. But if we kind of split up those 3 years, obviously Boruto would have gotten to Sasuke's level in a reasonable amount of time. So it's kind of like the Goku Gohan training in the time chamber type of deal where Gohan catches up and then it's like, okay, Goku's benefiting from this training now as well. So, and then of course what he brought up with him tagging code, giving him that scar and everything would make sense, all things considered.
Yeah, I wouldn't even, because I was thinking about the scar thing, but that's a little bit too contextual for me. Because like it could have just been Boruto is just stronger than Sasuke, and only with Boruto's help could he even get the strike off.
Fair enough.
So what I was kind of looking at, and this is contextual too, but I think it's more of a better thing to look at, is that if you scale like the Claw Grimes to like base Chocho, where she's like, these guys aren't really anything special. I don't think they're of level to cause like the kind of damage that you see visually depicted on Sasuke and Boruto during that flashback, to where Sasuke's kind of like bleeding. He has like scars and scratches and shit. So he's obviously been getting hit, and that those hits have scaled beyond his durability, and I don't think the claw grams are capable of that. So I think it's him tanking hits from Code. And this is a code with Karma beyond Jigen, and I think Sasuke and Boruto at that point are like at least able to endure his offensive potency of Code. That's just my kind of reading of the situation, and that kind of gets me Sasuke a little bit stronger, because I mean he wasn't even able to fight Jigen with like Naruto.
Exactly.
So if he said he's post Rinnegan, and he's like, I assume taking hits from Code directly, and he's like still in the fight, then I think he's stronger than his Rinnegan self. And then you get to like Hirari, who should be stronger than that, given, you know, assumptions about Bug and his Shinju being stronger than the original Bug. Then you get back to Hirari's battle with Boruto, and then you get back to him like being relative and canceling each other out in the jutsu and their speed and shit.
Yeah.
And then you get to Sarada dodging. It's just okay. You follow the logical kind of progression, given what you have to work with at the time of recording in real time. He's like, yes, Sarada's no Mangekyo, no Byakugo seal, no shenanigans, just straight up pure like Sharingan. No external amps, no Hagoromo Jesus coming down from the heavens. No Obito coming back from the ether. Like, nah, bro, it's just Uchiha half-breed queen shit. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely vibe with what you're saying, but like even part of the reason why I want to even wait to get more context before I even make like a somewhat definitive, you know, statement in terms of how strong I think Sarada might be is that like a lot of things surrounding like the Shinju, like Hidari, Juro, etc., still feel like they need to be fleshed out for me, right? Because okay, this is the first instance of like one of the Shinju actually being in front of their target. Does that affect them in any way? Does that quote unquote nerf them, like an emotional nerf because of, you know, where like in Hidari's case he's based from Sasuke's chakra? Does that affect his fighting ability in any sort of way? If that was, say, I don't know, let's say that was like young Neji there, like Shippuden Neji, would they have been able to do the same thing? You know, just little nuances like that. It doesn't have to be the case, but it's just that it feels too ambiguous for me personally to like say, hey, this is the case. So I'm definitely waiting on chapter 12. I'm hoping they don't pull like a One Piece and we just go to something else entirely. I really want to see the Sarada Hidari if it's part of the fight. Of course I do want to see Himawari, but you know this is on the table of, you know, top things I want to see for next chapter as well.
You so but you do feel comfortable making like doing analysis given what you have to work with at the time? I feel like if you wait, you'll be waiting probably your whole life. It might be a while if you wait. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, given where she was pre-time skip, I mean, it's a combination of factors for me, right? Given what we know of her pre-time skip, given the amount of time it's been, given, you know, the cliche thing of, you know, new generation stronger than the previous, and, you know, what would be the term? Power cliffing? That would that be the right term here? A lot of these factors come out. You could say, yeah, Sarada should be at this level, you know, but it's just that for me, historically speaking, since characters don't get to certain levels without it making like logical sense, it's like it's hard for me to like make that, yeah, she's like way beyond Madara level right now kind of judgments, you know. Yeah.
So you, there was something you said before,
yeah,
that you weren't like too sure given like what you were seeing. I think you said something alluding to that. I guess so. my problem is I can't really remember what you said again. But
No, for
so I'm
sure.
trying to remember. So, but I think like unless you have like unless you look at the material and you have a reason to arrive at a conclusion like based upon what you see,
Yeah.
or even like something's implied. But like oh yeah, this is what you said. I think you said like like you don't know if like the chakra or like his link to Sasuke is going to like nerf him.
Oh yeah,
And-
yeah.
and
In
I would-
terms of that, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I would say like, well, that's interesting. I think that's really cool. I thought the fight would be like super emotional. Like he would like, oh, that's my daughter or something. Like, why have these feelings for her? But bro, like on sighted her. Like he tried to murk her like on sight. Like there's nothing in that chapter that would lead you to believe. Even like with Boruto, like chapter 10 informs chapter 4.
Yeah.
Like he on sights people. Like he doesn't like there's no visual indications of like apprehension. There's
Yeah.
no anything like that to lead to the conclusion that he's like holding back or he like there's no established characterization because the character is so new.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I
there's
get you.
no nothing there to get to that conclusion. So I just go based on what we have seen, like,
Yeah.
what we work with, and then like at time of everything recording or whatever we're talking about it. Now, if some new information comes out in the future, then we make adjustments. But I think it
Until
is what
then.
it is now. Yeah, but I can respect that you don't want to make like a because my takes aren't really definitive. I always say this is like most likely given my interpretation of it. But yeah, I can respect not having like a definitive claim about it for sure. But when it comes to Sarada, I'm not sure how long you've been streaming. You probably want to go, but when it comes to Sarada, there are reasons I think that makes sense as to how she got this strong. You just take a look at her genetics and her nature and nurture, era of peace, and then she's an Uchiha who's like highly emotional, and then also she's saying that emotion. I think it's implied this to be the case for 3 years straight. Because like when in chapter 1 of TBV, she's already like super spicy and super emotional.
True.
Like, and it's implied like that's been the case for a while. Like, oh, not this shit again from Shikamaru. So, and then you go back to Tobirama's explanation, where there's like, the Sharingan is the eye that reflects the heart, and like Uchiha, like they know love and they lose love. Her father's gone. Her one of her best friends, Boruto's gone. Like her inspiration Naruto and his wife is dead to her. She doesn't know that he's like in the Daikokuten dimension. And like the world's like upside down and like everything's kind of like changed, and she's like in this heightened state of emotion. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that she's just been getting like exponential amps. And like I always say, because she's like a Uchiha in the era of peace, she has a low pain threshold. So she's gonna like feel things quicker, and then when she does feel them, she's gonna feel them more. In comparison to like a Sasuke or an Itachi who have a high pain threshold because of the eras they were born in. So I think she's getting like exponential amps, the kind that got Madara so powerful. And then on top of that, I think she's training. So I think her genetics are giving her amps, and then she's also training on top of that, given what she said to Mitsuki, where she wants to match. She won't be fit to be Hokage unless she matched the Mario Tsuki in power. That was part 1. So I think there are logical reasons for why she's like this powerful, and then also what you see at the time that you see it.
Yeah.
I think it all kind of checks out more so.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
those are my thoughts on it.
Yeah, Millennium was mentioning the whole, 3 years, her being an Uchiha and being in that state of constant, like, everything is just gone to shit, essentially. And reasoning that it was probably, a source of the amps. I wasn't dismissing that at all. I was kind of flirting with the idea that maybe, just maybe, since she's around Ada, more or less, I was flirting with the idea that maybe it could be cool if she was training with Damon as well, just for the fun of it. Even though that would be pretty boring for Damon, but I was kind of flirting with the idea because I'm trying to just kind of compile all the possible factors that could lead her to that, like a sensical increase in strength for over 3 years to such a level that I would say, because this would be kind of like if you took Naruto part 1, like the character of Naruto himself, and at the start of Shippuden he's like adult Naruto level. That's like the difference, like the jump in power that would have to be really and truly, for Sarada. So I'm just kind of looking at all the different factors that would be possible. Like, of course, you mentioned the Uchiha, the DNA. I'm flirting with the whole idea of training with Damon. You brought up Mitsuki, which makes sense. I didn't actually even consider that. I'm thinking as well. I'm still trying. Not even trying. I'm hoping at some point that when it comes on to the Konoha caster characters, that something Amado related can come into play to actually buff the characters as well. What at one point I was bringing up earlier is that since there's this whole theme of scientific like progression or advancements, and you know, the balance between that and like the shinobi's traditional way of doing things, and the fact that Sarada is going to be a Hokage of the future, so to speak, it would be interesting if over these last 3 years she's been kind of embodying that future perception I have of her, essentially, where she kind of tries to mix a traditional way of doing things with all these scientific advancements via a motto that's going on. I'm not saying that's probably the case right now, probably not, but it would be interesting if that could factor into her strengths in either now or in the short term for TBV.
Yeah, I think that's definitely interesting. If I saw any kind of indications that she had like an interest in that path,
Yeah,
that would definitely be on board with that. Like I think that maybe more so fits for your casual shinobi, but like genetics still rules everything in this universe. And I think she has excellent genetics, and I think that's, you know, showcasing itself in chapter 10. And for like those gifted type of shinobi with those like special attributes, I don't think they need to like rely necessarily on scientific ninja tech as like a crutch, at least not now. You know, if she has a battle with Hirari, and the see, this is Kishimoto's crazy. The crazy thing is, if everything checks out, like Sarada's scale's so high and she hasn't even used up like her bag as like a Uchiha. Like there's no Susanoo, no Amaterasu, no Mangekyo. There's like, and then not even like her other stuff. There's no Byakugo, like the typical stuff you think, okay, she needs to get all these things, and then we stack on like maybe some scientific ninja tech or some like other power like Shibai cells or some other external amp that all the top tiers get at some point, Naruto, Sasuke.
yeah.
So but because he had her do this particular feat in just like base Sharingan with 3 Tomoe, like and then like her reaction speed in base into the Sharingan, like it's just like it's so I get what you're saying, but Sarada was already like leagues above. Like I have her ranked Kage level in part 1 easily.
You have, wow.
Like, yeah. So how I do it, I think like Shinki first student exams easily Kage level, but I don't think they can. Yeah, I don't think they can necessarily beat a Kage, but I do think in terms of their power and skill, they're definitely Kage level, but they don't have like the wisdom, the tactical strategies to be able to like you know, the poise of a full-grown adult, right? They might not even have like the reserves in terms of their chakra or their potency, but they can like, hey, like a Kage could like they could throw hands with a Kage. Like Hiruzen was fighting against like Toby. I think this is depicted in the lore. I don't know if you want to believe this or not, but like Prime Hiruzen was fighting Tobirama and like Hashirama on par. Like Hiruzen was supposed to be like really nasty in his prime. Yeah, so like I think these types of characters, like they show themselves very early, and even Sasuke said like at the same age, like you're just way better than I was. And then you can look at like bro's running up, he had difficulty trying to get up a tree, and like Sarada's not having those kinds of problems whatsoever.
That's true.
And it's not the whole new generation. It's a select few of them, like Inoshika Cho perhaps. More so like I think Chocho is definitely a prodigy. And I think I need to see more from Shikadai. But Chocho is definitely a prodigy. Sarada, Shinki, Boruto to a certain degree. Before Momoshiki, I think he would have probably capped out at like Kakashi level, slightly above. with Momoki. I think Sky's still in it, obviously.
Literally.
Yeah, so that type of stuff. Like, I think there are explainers for how they got this powerful at the top tiers in the new gen. Mitsuki, obviously, but I just don't see any indication of scientific ninja tech in the way that we saw it prior being used. And definitely, like, Amato stuff is a little too intrusive to be implemented in like the main characters, right? Maybe Konohamaru loses an arm and he gets like a scientific ninja tech arm or whatever the case may be. But even then, I think Konohamaru is pretty strong, but I know people disagree with me. But yeah, just some thoughts on it though.
No pressure. Let me go through.
Yeah,
some
I think
of
the
these
Amato.
comments. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Millennium.
I was like, every time someone mentions like Amato augmenting them, I don't know. It just seems like a crutch, kind of like the Senzu being in Dragon Ball, or I don't know, something like the Dragon Balls. Like, oh, if you want to get a character to such and such, you just go to Amato. He'll fix them right up, bring them to that level. I don't know. It's just something about that. It's just such an easy way out, I feel like.
Yeah, it's so like I was thinking like Sarada's the first character that actually put like the main antagonists or antagonizing forces on their ass. Like nobody has put Jura down. I mean, Chocho hit him, but he didn't like fall down and then stay down. Like nobody put Bug down. Not even Boruto. No one. Mitsuki really didn't do too much. She's the first one that put Hidari on his ass, and he's like the last panel you see him for like the next month. It's gonna be a panel of him on his ass.
No. It's actually
so that's like I thought bro got up. I looked at that panel again. I'm like, what is his forearm resting on? Oh, that's the ground. Oh, he's still down. Okay, that's crazy. Yeah. So that's interesting for sure. And then like it's also it's crazy because I think they're gonna have some kind of crazy like she inherited some kind of Otsutsuki whatever. Just a little hunch I have, but. Hence why she's not affected by omnipotence. But I think if you just look at every character that scales top tier amongst the main cast, they all get external. Even Himawari, bro. Like she got Kurama now. Like Sarada's the only one, bro. Like she just her by herself is scaling. It's fucking insane.
It's crazy. All right, let me go through some of these comments. Andrew was asking if Kurama knows Boruto is Naruto's real son, which is basically the same question. If Kurama is affected by omnipotence. I was saying earlier it was possible, but since he was technically dead when it happened, maybe not. Unless what Damon sense wasn't Kurama, or if it was Kurama, then I'd probably say yes. But if not, then it's anybody's guess, because as I said, Code was in a literal like a next dimension, and he was affected. But of course, all chakras connected. So even if we say I don't know, Kurama's chakra went to the the pure world, then you could say probably omnipotence has probably even affected even the persons who are dead. Who knows? That would be wild. It's also chakra. Yeah, that would be crazy. But then again, it's almost whatever for a lot of the dead persons, because of course the majority is Boruto and Kawaki's switch, and most of those dead characters wouldn't even know Boruto and Kawaki anyway, so it's almost whatever.
You take the name literally, omnipotence. Omni, like everywhere.
Fair enough.
Even in the pure world. Interesting. I think if you just look at the dialogue Kurama has spoken, if memory serves me, there's nothing in that dialogue that gets you to him having any like. I don't think you can arrive at a conclusion given the dialogue.
There's nothing really that indicates really. I'm just speculating on my part. Of course, based on what you were saying earlier, Melo, in terms of how to kind of determine the stats or the difference between certain characters. Waki was saying, for example, I don't think Sasuke can dump 100% of his chakra into a normal fireball jutsu. Oh, when we're talking about chakra control. And he can't spread 0.1% of his chakra on the world's tiniest Shidori. Okay. I guess maybe if that comes down to if like certain jutsu like require like a certain degree of chakra control, and if you you know, up it's too much or it's too low, the jutsu feels. That is an actual thing, isn't it?
Well, the problem is like, again, you would never know. So it's like, because I was saying like people were like, oh well, you think Hirari scales to Boruto? Well, Boruto was fighting before then, so like he's nerfed. I'm like, well, I think it's reasonable to say he's like, because I work in pluses and minuses because you can't really quantify a lot of this stuff. So I say, well, I think it's reasonable to say he's a minus. I don't know if that minus is a big minus or a small minus, but I think it's safe to say he's a minus.
Yeah.
But I can't like measure how much chakra went into flying Raijin or how much chakra went into him dodging a strike from Code. So because I can't measure, I can't even like work with it. It's not even like a point. But like it gets to like, oh, the whole going all out conversation is so interesting because I'm like, how does that manifest itself to like, what does that mean to you? I guess I'll ask you, Sandra. Like, what do you think when a character goes all out? Like, what do you think? How does that manifest?
Oh, does that manifest, right?
Yeah.
Well,
because surely you can't use 100% of your chakra in any given thing because you die.
fair point.
That's a good place to start.
Well, I think where I would start is that, and this obviously, as you would say, I wouldn't necessarily know, but in my headcanon, probably there's a limit to how much chakra, like the maximum threshold like a jutsu can take before it either fails or succeeds, like that thin line between like, okay, you know, let's throw out a number, like if you could measure like chakra in certain units and like a fireball jutsu, like at most like it takes, I don't know, 100 chakra units. Any more than that, it just feels. And maybe like, right. Oh, like Sasuke, like he does a fireball jutsu on Kakashi during the belt test in part 1. It's like, oh, he could only put like, I don't know, 4 chakra points into that versus, I don't know, Itachi can put like 95, you know. But then again, it's like you would still imagine if like Ishiki did a fireball jutsu versus Itachi. It's like you would imagine Ishiki's one should still be more powerful. So it's like it all comes back to I would never know. I don't know. Really, like
okay.
Yeah.
Well, stick with what you just said. Like, why do you think Ishiki's would be more powerful?
If I go with what I just said in terms of this whole chakra points, quote unquote, it could still come back down to the quality of chakra you were going for earlier. I guess quality and type. Unless if I could, like you know,
fire to water.
Fire to water, or you know, if it's 6-pass chakra, if it's sage chakra.
Okay.
But unless if I were to, like, let me say something stupid here, like headcanon.
Stupid.
Headcanon Inception. Maybe the type and quality of chakra affects like the maximum amount of chakra points that determines if a jutsu fails or succeeds. That's the only like quote unquote big brain thing I could possibly think of. So probably like this quality of chakra might give like the fireball jutsu, how should I put it, like maybe you can dump like 1,000 chakra points in it now without it going haywire or something along the lines of that, so to speak. But to come back to like your initial question, like going all out, that's what I would imagine it being essentially. Like you're not necessarily you can't use like 100% of your chakra, but probably every jutsu might have like a maximum threshold of like chakra points you can dump into it based on where your chakra level is. So that's what I would imagine, really and truly. Or even just using your chakra control to the finest, like, oh, I can go this fast amping myself with chakra, but if I dump more into it, I can increase how fast I'm moving.
So if like, say Ishiki does a fireball jutsu and it's like 1% of his chakra, or 1 point, if you want to go to a point system.
Yeah.
And you have like part 1, Bell tests Sasuke does a fireball jutsu, and it's 1% of his chakra. Who's winning that exchange? Or 1 point of his chakra? Who's winning that exchange?
Well, if we're doing it by percentages, then definitely I would go with Ishiki. But if I'm looking at it literally like currency, I mean, $1 is $1, right? But then again, it still comes back down to like, okay, this is $1 of maybe normal chakra versus $1 of 6 parts Otsutsuki chakra. I mean, there's so many ways you could probably dissect how I'm interpreting and, you know, putting this forward on the table here.
I'll rock with it. I think it's interesting. It's like what you were saying earlier, or even in this case, I think like the difference between like say like a gorilla and like a human.
Yeah.
Just like a gorilla's muscle fibers are such to where like they can you know produce more, I don't know, gripping strength.
Yeah.
Or like just strength in general. Like they're just literally built different. They're just on the genetic level just built different than us. Even like typically the typical case where it's like a female or a male, typically a male is going to be like stronger at their apex than a female at their apex. Although I'll be seeing some like women who will hit you with that clothesline, bro. It was over for your ass.
Crazy.
But yeah, so I think that could be interesting. So like, so you remove like the muscle fiber thing,
And replace it with
because of
chakra.
what you are. Exactly, because of the Otsutsuki are genetically superior to like a human. Their chakra is going to be genetically, or their chakra's potency is going to be superior to like that of the humans. In the same way, like, so they're basically the gorilla to the human. And I think that makes sense, given your mental and physical energy goes into creating chakra. So yeah, I think the whole genetic thing is going to yield more potent chakra. And I think that will probably be the difference between like at least one of them, the major one, between like Ishiki's fireball and then like also Sasuke's. And then I think chakra control, I would imagine, plays a role. I find it difficult to think about how it would factor in outside of like how big the fireball would be, and then maybe how long you can sustain it.
I mean,
I feel like there's another way to implement chakra control outside of just like potency and then like stamina, but I can't quite remember at the time. Yeah.
No pressure. One thing I was gonna say is that, just to even add on to your gorilla example, like I mean you could even just use the concepts of like density and volume, really and truly. Like I guess because I mean, if I have a ball that's well, no pun intended, but 2 balls, if they're the same size, and one is like much more dense, but volume wise they take up like, you know, the same space, like obviously the one that's more dense is gonna hit harder, essentially, or you know. So I guess you could translate that to like chakra density. That could be like another way of looking at it.
That is actually really interesting. Like what's the formula? Mass times was it velocity?
Don't remember the formula. Let me just look it back up.
Newton's third law. Yeah, so if it's like more dense, then it should definitely like push the other fireball back further. I'm thinking that's the case. Like if like 2 people are walking around a corner, it's like a little girl and like a man.
Yeah,
they're gonna hit with the same force, but the little girl's gonna go flying backwards, whereas the man's just gonna kind of stand still because he has like more mass. No, that's interesting for sure. Yeah. And we know the Rasengan has weight too. So when Boruto, he's like, oh, it's heavy. Yeah, it's interesting.
What are you gonna say, Millennium?
No, I just remembered Moonster laws. Pretty sure it's mass and speed equals force. So the examples that Mel was giving, it adds up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't get too nerdy though.
No pressure. I just want to finish going through all these some of the chats.
But I will say that I think although this is like very nerdy stuff, I do think it's super Well, that's super important, but I do think if you want to like kind of dive deep into like, okay, how is Sarada doing this? Why is it happening? Like blah blah blah. You look into like the mechanics and the lore, and I think all this stuff adds to like a deeper understanding about like interactions in combat, how these characters can possibly scale, how a Madara could potentially scale to Jigen if you think like Boruto characters are just instantly wiping Shippuden characters. I don't think it's as simple as like how people put it. I think there's like complexities there. I do think Madara is capable of dodging a punch from Jigen and like fighting on par with him. I personally think that, given how things work out. But hey, maybe he gets perception blitz and just gets folded. It just depends on how you want to think about it.
Yeah, it there's so many different factors, honestly.
Yep.
Waki saying it's also possible that Hidari is stronger, but if he loses, do you mean uses Shinobi tactics experience genius from Sasuke? Hidari could hypothetically be worse than Sasuke. I guess you're trying to make fun of Sasuke there. I think Code has.
I think that's a.
Yeah.
I was just. I think that's a thing. Characters can be stronger. Like who do I want to say? Oh, Code. I think Code is definitely like more powerful. But Boruto is a shinobi, so he's gonna be like more tactically sound. I think that's the reason why the Otsutsuki keep losing, because for whatever reasons their tactics don't really compare to that of the shinobi.
That's interesting based on this next one that Walkie Talkie is saying. He's saying, I think Code has a lot of power he can't use effectively because he isn't a ninja. His mind needs to catch up to his body.
Well, that's interesting. His mind needs to get. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think so. Like, I think I have Code like relative to Boruto.
Yeah.
I think Boruto beat him for a lot of different reasons.
That Uzi is busted, man.
Yeah. Code just didn't know a lot of things about Boruto, and Boruto knew pretty much everything about Code. He had a lot of advantages, but he didn't like speed blitz him with his like raw movement speed. He used jutsu to like defeat him. So I think if Code was more tactically sound, he wouldn't make the mistakes that he did. He wouldn't like assume Boruto was like the same level he was 2 years prior to that fight. There's just a lot of mistakes that he made. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, even looking back on the fight between Code and Boruto before the Uzuhiko is like. Yeah, I mean, Code was using his karma, so at least, yeah, they're between BS Boruto and Code, yeah, pretty relative, I'd say. Bro, Damon ain't caring about no Sarada. I know, but it's more of like the way I'm thinking of it, possibly when I was flirting with that idea of like training with Sarada, is more of like Damon's just bored. And it's like, okay, let me just kill some time, kind of like on some the nonsensical Frieza beating Tagoma in Dragon Ball Super, and he just becomes ridiculously more powerful. It's ridiculous.
That amp was insane. Like, holy
it's stupid, bro. Honestly,
bro. I think didn't bro get stronger than like Super Saiyan God?
Bro,
no, I don't know. He got that strong.
Well,
I know. What, have you seen the Moro arc?
Yeah, I've read the Moro arc.
There's like a character like that pink buff dude who gets like the amps from Moro.
Yeah,
like, that dude is insanely powerful. Like, he's taking hits from like Super Saiyan Blue Goku post Mirror's training.
Bro, that was crazy, bro. Which still to this day, like with everything. Listen, I appreciate that Dragon Ball right now has like a nice variety of Saiyans, but I'm still kind of iffy about the Gohan Beast power, bro. Like it's crazy in terms of making that jump
bro, you
again.
gotta accept peak. You must accept peak, bro. I'm just happy for my boy Piccolo. When they said, "Oh yeah, Piccolo got he helped me perfect it," I'm like, "Yes, he got stronger." He's like, "Yo, I can't even. Yo, I ain't never seen you like you got a brand new haircut, Piccolo, and even though you ain't got no hair, like, I ain't never seen you like this, bro. I gotta fight you, bro." I was like, "Yes, my favorite character get glow up."
He's been long overdue for something new, cause he's
Yeah.
always been there, helping out the Z fighters, keeping it down, and he's got nothing.
Yeah, that's
Hell
true.
yeah, bro.
That's true. So I mean, it's like I might not like. Well, Piccolo's power up was good, I think. But Gohan, I'm more iffy on Gohan's one. But the conclusion is this: I might not like how we got there, but I kind of like that we're there, because I like when Dragon Ball, or just a series in general, is like, okay, there's like anybody can be the hero at the end of the day, essentially. Like the arc, it just makes it more dynamic to me, I'd say, than just the Goku and Vegeta show.
I even like in the manga where like Goten and Trunks are like sparring with Gohan. Like that was really cool too.
Yeah.
Just seeing that they can still at least go Super Saiyan. They should have Super Saiyan 2 by now, but
It
I
should
mean, hell,
yeah, I was
Khalifa got Super Saiyan 2 shit.
It's crazy, bro.
yeah, tingly feeling in their back. You're right.
Yeah. Bro, I'm still waiting for that. What is it, Universe 6 arc? Like, where is that, bro?
Oh,
Yeah.
dog. There's so much potential in the story, man, in terms of where they could go. But I mean, I guess before speculating anything, we gotta at least wait till they announce if they're when they're coming back, much less.
Are you gonna watch Daima when it comes out?
Definitely. There's not even like a second thought, man.
Sure.
It's gonna be so
Damn.
bittersweet. It's like one of his last projects. Like, but I want to see.
It's
I love
crazy.
Dragon Ball, so I hope he gets the Nimbus. If he gets the Nimbus, I'm gonna like freaking fanboy out. I love
Well,
it.
he already has the power pool. Yeah, all we need
Yeah.
is an invite.
They have to,
Yeah,
man.
if you go OG, ooh, that's gonna be fire. I hope there's no transformations, bro. I don't want to see no Super Saiyan, no nothing. I just want like pure
Yeah.
like OG Dragon Ball greatness, like adventure, like martial arts choreography. No, no big old ki blast. I want to see some bow staff choreography. I want to see some OG stuff, bro. That'd be so sick. Power pole extend. Yeah, that's what I want.
Yo.
It's crazy.
Hell yeah.
We have Andrew saying, "You lot miss a big piece. You don't have to be strong to beat someone strong. Remember, Hidari don't see them as strong or a threat, so he's underestimating her. So she caught him off guard. I don't know, man. Well, guess we'll see. Let's see for chapter 11.
I don't think there's a reason to believe that. Given, I mean, like he wouldn't see her as strong, but like she literally arrived on the scene. Like he had no prior data about her
Yeah.
outside of like a name that popped in his head. So I don't know, but to each their own. I respect your opinion.
Yeah.
I was curious though, like what's the contention with Gohan Beast? You don't like Gohan Beast? Like,
No, I like it, but it's just that.
like how it happened.
Yeah, I know we're in the super era and everybody can just
Think
make
of the
some
power-ups.
wild jumps without it being, and it's not like I don't know that Gohan has, it's Gohan, man. But I mean, you would think after, going through everything through the Saiyan arc as a child, getting his potential unlocked by Guru, training with Goku, Time Chamber, Cell, Super Saiyan 2, get my potential unlocked again.
Yeah, like how much potential
Elder
does this dude
Kai,
have?
you would think that at some point that you would have diminishing returns, but no, I can still just, I don't know, train for 2 days and I'll just reach Super Saiyan Blue level and then
You know what it is though, right? Because I made a video about this.
talk to me.
Because I had the same problem with Trunks. I was like, why is Trunks like the Super Saiyan Rage thing and the
It's
Zamasu arc? I'm
madness,
like,
bro.
why? Although I liked it because I'm a Trunks fanboy, but I'm like, why? That don't make sense. And then I thought about it. It's their Kekkei Genkai, bro. Like them Saiyans are OP. Like they literally adapt to like the power around them and then upscale. It's like when you work out and then you tear your muscles to rebuild them. They just do that at a faster pace. That's all it is. Like, and if you look at it through a lens, there's literally no limit to how many transformations they'll get, and there's no limit to how high they can get. They literally are like genetically designed. Like the GOAT, my bad, Mr. Toriyama. Akira Toriyama literally wrote it in to be the case that these characters on the genetic level get exponential amps and then frequently. So it all makes sense. Like why do you think like Vegeta and Goku get stronger from gravity training?
Well, I guess Zenkais, they keep adapting to the weight that they're training in, essentially.
Exactly, right? So the adversity, or like the enemy in this case, would be like the gravity against their bodies, right? So their bodies like make adjustments so that they can handle that weight, but then once they're out of that weight, then they get those exponential increases in comparatively to like the gravity in the chamber. So when someone like Gohan is around like Super Saiyan Blue, he's like fighting Goku in Super Saiyan Blue, at least in the anime, or like he's around like Kefla, or like all these people in the manga, all these top tier, Moro, all these characters, and they're like whooping his ass. His body's literally like, okay, we can't deal with this, so let me like get us stronger real quick so that we can. So the next time you see this dude, he's like Super Saiyan Blue level. It actually makes a lot of sense, and he's a Saiyan in his prime.
Yeah,
like even more so than Goku and Vegeta. Like they're probably like 20 years before they start to start to slow down. 25-ish years, like in their 50s. Vegeta's probably a little bit older. Yeah, it's like 80. I think around 80 is around when they start to like lose their prime. So he's like in his prime. I don't know how the human stuff factors in, but and he's genetically going to get amps as like time goes on. And then also, I think this is the case with Gohan in particular. I think he's like actually like a mutant. I think he's like, I don't think he's like a normal hybrid at all. Because Trunks and them, man, Trunks is kind of weird. Like Future Trunks gets those amps, but Kid Trunks is kind of.
So
well, I guess teenager Trunks is kind of ass, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like when you say that he might be a mutant, because I guess that would be more of that, I guess correlation, or I guess similarity to Broly, because I would definitely classify Broly as a mutant, or the quote unquote legendary Super Saiyan, a mutant of the race, essentially.
They made those parallels too in the manga recently.
Yeah, so that I do like that idea, but you know what would make me feel better, personally, as per usual, is that I know it's Dragon Ball and they might not go to that depth like a Naruto or whatever the case may be, but it would be nice if you had like a scientific character like be like exploring like saying like physiology and everything when it comes on to their transformations, just to kind of get a bit more depth in terms of the explanation. Because similar to like what you're saying is like, I'm thinking of it like, okay, you have God Key, you can apply that to a Saiyan and he unlocks a specific type of transformation. Or if it was like some unique type of key, the Saiyan by extension would be able to get like a new unique type of transformation by like adapting to that type of key. So
God Key's a bust, bro.
Yeah, I know, but but I'm just kind of thinking about like how you were basically describing it. So I remember like Toriyama, I think it was like an interview when he was kind of explaining like what keys made out of like in Dragon Ball, like in terms of the component parts. So if I kind of think about that and kind of apply that to a Saiyan, and then you kind of alter something about one of the component parts, I could imagine like a Saiyan could, yeah, definitely achieve any type of unique, Super Saiyan quote unquote transformation. So yeah, that does make sense. And but I just think like in the case of like Gohan, right? So you thought Piccolo died. Would you say there's like no point before that he should have like unlocked Beast then, if that's the case? I know it probably might be like, oh, like real world context, real world type of story. It's like, okay, what do we do for this new movie? Oh, let's give him a new transformation. That's probably like the real world type of thing. But like in universe, yeah.
So I think this is obviously my assumption.
No pressure.
I think in order for Beast to even come about, there has to be a sufficient power to adapt to begin with, which wasn't present prior to that movie. So I think with Cell Max, which is extremely powerful, even I have Cell Max above Broly in the Broly film.
Yeah.
I have skills like probably above Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. Like Cell Max, like he just doesn't have the mind, but his power is like insane. I think even Kishimoto
Toriyama.
like wrote like a little tidbit about him. Yeah, I'm sorry, Toriyama.
No pressure.
I feel so I feel like I'm disrespecting my childhood hero. Yeah, so there's that. So I think I think Beast came about and scaled as high as it did because of Cell Max was what it was adapting to, and then from there, because like I think Beast is Mystic Gohan or whatever.
Yeah.
Ultimate Gohan, which is the official name now. Ultimate Gohan is I would argue relative to Orange Piccolo. I would argue because like Piccolo's like, oh, you're the one that can stop this. Whereas like if Piccolo was strong enough, he should be the one to stop it. But he was saying that before Beast ever came about. So I think Ultimate Gohan scales to like Orange Piccolo. So and then he just gets that amp. So yeah, I think that's the reason why it came about. His genetics plus the context, which was Cell Max, and then that's where the explosive power of Beast kind of came into play. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
well, we've been talking about the makeup of a Saiyan. The SOs concept, introduced by Toriyama. I was just looking up he was saying about them, and apparently, the more SOs a Saiyan has, the easier it is to transform, and you can gain more SOs by going through emotional and emotional states or dire battles. And I think that played a role with Gohan at the time as well.
It's interesting.
Yeah, because that also explains things in a series, like how, because he said that Goten and Trunks were born with more SOs than Goku and Vegeta, and so in turn they needed a little emotional duress to go Super Saiyan, which is why they went into it more easily, and why at the time it was harder for Vegeta and Goku to get it because they weren't born with as many SOs, but going through those events built up their biology to the point where they could go Super Saiyan.
And also I think it is an element that gets forgotten about Saiyans, is that they get amps via their emotions as well.
Yeah.
Like I think you need to feel like, I know they kind of maybe retcon this a little bit with like Kefla and Khalifa and Kale and Kaba and Goten and Trunks. But I think you need to be like angry, like you need like it was linked to their rage. And sorry, did I disconnect?
No, Paradox just joined.
Bad. What's up, bro? What's good, bro? So even like Gohan Beast is like, just as I was about to go berserk, I raised my ki and controlled it, kind of. So that's how he taps into Matt's form in Beast, and that's very similar to Broly, which is why I think Goku wanted him to fight with Broly. So like I think, but it's also different from any other Saiyan, because Saiyans do that too. Like when because I'm making a video about this actually.
Yeah.
When Goku learned that Zamasu stole his body and killed his family, Goku gets that rage amp, right? And then that also allows Goku. I think Goku Black is a perfect character to think about too. He keeps getting exponential like Zenkai boosts.
It was ridiculous, bro.
Yeah,
I think he's like a god who's hacking Saiyan physiology in a way that like
that's
kind
exactly
of go
what he does.
exactly like kind of how Gohan and Broly kind of do that naturally. I think that's what it kind of is. But yeah.
No, thank you for bringing this up, because I love Goku Black, and
Me too, bro. He had the potential to be the best villain, bro. Oh my god, they ruined it.
Bro, listen, the arc was crazy, dog. Apart from the ending, but I mean,
the swag, the theme song, like oh my god, bro. Rose, oh my god, I love it, bro. Love it.
Trust me. Hold on. Shout out Kyle, Paradox. I know I still have a bunch of messages in the chat to go, but I see you guys. I see that you're here. Welcome to the stream.
I'm yapping. What's up, bro? What's up? What's good?
Paradox, what's up,
I'm
man?
actually gonna head out, but it was a pleasure talking to you guys. It was very fun.
Yeah, man.
Enjoy the rest of your stream, though.
Yeah, man. I won't be on for too much longer. Kind of over the time that I planned, but I'm having fun.
Bet. Y'all boys be easy. Later.
All right, Miller, respect.
Hey, you too, man.
Paradox, what's up, man?
Bro, I'm here, fam. Here, bro. Can't believe I missed it.
No pressure. I did. To be
Have some
fair,
feedback.
I did start early because the plan was to potentially go out tonight. So the plan was to just stream from like 5:30 to 7:30. It's like 8:37 now. So I won't be on. Yeah, I won't be on too much longer. But yeah, man, how have you been?
It's been good. I have some, just regular life stuff, bro. Dealing with. But yeah, it's been enjoying the anime world lately. Kaiju number 8 is running the rave and stuff like that. But
That's right.
we're not going to get into that. I told y'all though.
but no. I remember. You had mentioned it.
Yeah, man. Well, what's up though? What you guys been talking about? Because I see we were talking about like some chapter level stuff.
Well, between Dragon Ball and Boruto, mainly, really and truly, a bit of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero at 1.2. Yeah, mainly between those two, really and truly, and quite a bit of Sarada and how persons are interpreting her strength right now. Even though it's not much to really go off, but basically that's a basic gist.
As it comes to that, I'm just chilling right now. I'm just letting the chef cook, let him do his thing. I'm not even jumping to any conclusions. I have seen the post and I've seen some videos coming out and the regular names talking about it. So I've been kind of up to date on that, but it's not something that I'm really going to rush right now, to be honest, because I think that's the direction that you're going, and I'm more intrigued right now. Sarada good enough. It's not like someone never knows Sarada is not stuck like that, bro. It's a Sharingan, like. Plus, it's 3 years. Them not explain our full thing yet, but I'm more intrigued by Himawari and what's going on over that side.
Fair point.
Think about that, brother. Like, my brain is going nuts. It's gonna be crazy, but sure.
Yo, trust me, because man, the series is really kind of panning out to be very dynamic. Because Boruto, Kawaki, Himawari, Sarada, we're kind of like an all-star crew for the most part. So I just wish we had more pages per month. Really.
Yeah, either that or like do it bi-weekly or something like that.
I've given up on the I've given up on the bi-weekly thing, man. Honestly, like it's been, it's crazy to think we're 2024. It's been 8 years since Boruto started, and if you want to include Boruto Naruto the movie, then it's 9 years. That's crazy to me, fam.
And that's why I'm not really like pressuring it, to be honest, because them seem to make up their mind as to what they're doing. I'm just hoping that when the product is delivered, it's to our expectations, I would say.
Yeah.
So like, even though we want it to be more frequent or probably more pages a month time, if that don't come to light, then I just like, I'm just chilling. That's why I'm like, alright, I'm just gonna allow him, make him do him thing, just go and cook. Understand? So he loves to take his time with story, and worst a month, so it's going to be like, lagging a little bit for persons who are kind of used to a faster paced story.
Yeah.
But yeah, the boss a cook, man. Make him go and do him thing.
Go and do him thing. This is why I was kind of theorizing earlier in the stream, and I was saying that like, even like the missing characters like Sakura, Kakashi, if it's a case that we never get to see them, I just think it's a way for Kishimoto to kind of get through the story, use the manga as an outline for the final product that is the quote-unquote anime. I think that's kind of like the case right now. But at the same time, I'm saying like, if we're supposed to get like this darker story that we were being sold, it would make sense to include the characters, have them have that dynamic with the present gen, and then kill off select members of it whether it be Kakashi, Lee, whatever the case may be. Yeah. For some reason I'm not hearing.
Yeah, hearing
Anybody
now?
know? Okay, there we go. Hold on though. Walking. Sanjay, we gotta hook back up soon and get you a redemption pod where Kamui and I are arguing over one all times. Yeah, man, that would be good. I'll be up for that. Just let me know ahead of time when, and we just plan it out. I'll definitely be up for that. Because you're going on the club pod, Sanjay stream. We need some of them car representation to walkie-talkie streams. Yeah, man. I'll be definitely up for that walkie-talkie. So just let me know ahead of time. Yeah, I mean, just show me up on Discord. We plan it out. So, you know, let's have some fun, guys. But yeah, as you were saying, Paradox.
No, I was just saying, you know, I think he's doing the manga more of like a, let's say, a skeleton of the story. Just to
Yeah.
get, as you said, just get to the parts and then probably use the anime to fill in what they have been doing. I'm hoping at least to the, I would say to the extreme. If it happens, it would be that way. But if him cut them out, it kind of people go kind of vexed.
It's not even vexed.
Isn't
It
it?
just,
So-
to me, it just don't make sense, fam. Like, like, where is everyone?
Yeah, and you realize it's only like, you realize that it's only like what did I say again?
I mean, it's just literally like what Kawaki, Inashikacho, you have Shikamaru and Ino in the back, Boruto, Himawari.
Even for like the series itself,
Yeah,
they could have done a little bit more with it, but I mean, unless they're gonna like fill it in with like kilograms and stuff like that and have them, you know, the other cast outside of the main that we're seeing right now in the manga,
yeah.
because we literally have not seen any of the young ones. I think, did we see Metal or any of them in the manga?
Nope. Well, hold on.
So yeah,
Did we see Metal? No, I think it's just always been Inashikacho, really. You guys can correct me in the chat.
Yeah,
for me.
I think it's-
it's
Like
been.
one panel.
Wow, for Metal?
Yeah, just one panel.
Wow. Madness.
so yeah, we've seen them like a bunch in the anime series. So I would actually still love to see what they've been up to in the manga though, like in terms of like Kakashi and the rest.
Yeah.
At least try to fit them in some way somehow. But we already know that the younger generation is going to be the, you know, the top tier, but it can't be these, what we'd call it, 6, you know, Chikacho, 7 with Boruto's team, Himawari, 8. Can't be just those 8 alone. That's, you know, out of the new.
It's crazy,
It
bro.
makes sense.
I don't know how they're gonna do it, but maybe I just have to wait and see. I don't want to even speculate on this, man. Like, I've given like my thoughts on, like, you know, the benefit, the plus or minuses of including versus not including them, and I just think it'd be better to include them at some point.
Yeah, at least. But, you know, as I say, I'm not really rushing him. Let's let him do what I do, and then I'll
Serious
criticize probably near the end. Yeah, and see how them actually like finish execute the entire project itself. So,
Yeah.
but for right now, there's so much manga out there and stuff like that to keep my attention going on right now. So, I'm just gonna, you know, let him cook.
Yeah. Millennium. I found the thing I was mentioning in terms of the whole key components thing in Dragon Ball. And Toriyama was saying like it's like made out of like Genki, which is literally vigor, Yuki, which is courage, and Shoki, which is right-mindedness. So like in terms of even like the Gohan Beast thing, like, or even just the whole, you know, application of ki to Saiyans and them, you know, adapting and then transforming. I guess you could have these in like different quantities, or I guess types. Yeah, because it says after that he implies Yuki is literally the emotion of courage and the energy rush that comes from that, which would mean ki is as much an emotional concept as it is a physical energy to use in battle. So given Gohan being Gohan, and in terms of what Melo was saying, his theory of Gohan being a mutant, because I mean in universe, yeah, he's like a very special half Saiyan, half breed, hybrid, compared to even like Goten and Trunks. Like no other half breed apart from like Future Trunks, but even then, like Gohan's just like leagues above. So yeah, so I think that's more of it. But I think it'd be better, like as I was saying, if there was a character that could even retroactively be like analyzing scenes, providing more context and thing, just to give more background for these jumps in power. I think I'd feel better. Not to say that the way that Melo and how we're dissecting it doesn't make sense, but like when you just have a character that suddenly just show up and they're like, of course, like the Android 17 just it doesn't make sense, bro. Like
fight against what were they? Poachers?
Madness, bro.
Yeah.
Madness.
No, what you were saying about Gohan Beast, I feel like the same way. When it came out, when we found out that he got a new form and how he got it, I was a little disappointed because there wasn't really a build up to it specifically. Like it just happened.
Exactly. It's like,
And then all of a sudden he's stronger than UI Goku. Like he's the strongest character in the series at that point. It just didn't sit right with me.
yeah, it
Because at least with Super Saiyan 2, you know, he underwent a whole year of training. All he needed was that push to get to it. His ultimate form, like it was all his lane potential at the time. But now with Beast, like we still don't even have an explanation for what it is. Though it could go to Melo's theory of it being a mutation because no one else in this series knows what it is. So I think it's very plausible. But I just think in a way he got it. It just doesn't sit right. It doesn't feel like earned.
Yeah. Or even if it's not earned, it just doesn't feel like there's, I mean, there's context, but there at the same time there's no context for it really. Like
Yeah, like,
yes.
it literally just happened. Like I'm trying to think of like the closest thing was Rage too, but I don't know if I'm sounding hypocritical, but at least you had the point where Trunks, he was fighting against like god level combatants for like a long period of time. So maybe that allowed him to unlock another form to like adapt to it. But like with Gohan, he just powers up in a moment of emotion into like this whole new concept never seen before.
Exactly.
I don't know. Like,
and I mean, if you,
like the
I mean,
closest.
I imagine you've read the Moro arc,
Oh no,
right?
go on. Yeah.
I mean, what's so special about Gohan now, where versus all the near deaths he saw in the Moro arc? Like, why transform to Beast now versus then? Like, what's so different about him now, really and truly? So, you know, little stuff like that. So it just kind of adds to the feeling of like it just happened.
Yeah, like it came out of nowhere because he said in the film earlier that he was training, you know, he was like casual training. It wasn't anything real, just keeping up.
Yeah.
Like just keeping his body and mind sharp. So it's not like he went through extreme training. I feel like it would have worked better if it wasn't Piccolo who got harmed, but rather Pan. Because it's how he unlocked it. He thought Piccolo died. And I get that it's emotional, you know. They're like basically best friends at this point. You know, family members, they've been close. But I feel like something to the level of Beast, I think something happening to his daughter would elicit such an emotional response to it, better than Piccolo even.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You know, like seeing your child possibly dying would awaken something in you. And you could apply that to Gohan, you know. But yeah, I don't know. It's just how it was. It's how he got the form. It doesn't sit right with me a little bit.
Yeah.
But I love the form though.
Yeah, but as I said, even though getting to it was a bit iffy for me, the end result now is that we have a cast of characters, like a more dynamic cast right now. So that's one of the things I really like. So yeah.
I hope
Yep.
they don't drop the ball going
Hopefully
forward,
not.
but
Alright,
Yeah.
Walkie Talkie saying, thanks for this chill stream, by the way. I got my wisdom teeth out today. I'm in a lot of pain, so this has been good to vibe to and get my mind on something engaging. Yeah, I know that wisdom teeth. I removed my lower right one last year, October, so yeah, I know how that goes. Trust me. But anyway, guys, I've been streaming for 1 hour and 21 minutes over my scheduled time, so I'm basically gonna wrap up right now. Guys, thanks for coming out as per usual. This was a nice chill stream as per usual. Any final thing you guys want to say?
No, I'm just glad to be talking with you guys. You know, it's really fun, really fun to talk. And thank you, I appreciate it. You know,
Yeah, man.
getting to be on here and interact with you guys.
Anytime, man. Paradox.
For me, it's I can't believe I missed it, but you know, it's just a byproduct of being an adult, I guess. You know,
Yeah,
a part
I
of
know it
life that you have
goes.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, I always try to tune in as often as I can, definitely. And yeah, as we say, you know, anime, manga for life. So just go chill. There's so much out there. Don't make Boruto hurt on the head. Watch Kaiju number 8, guys. I'm telling you. Go watch Kaiju number 8, bro.
Yes,
But
yes,
yeah,
sir.
you know.
Alright, guys. Respect.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Yeah,
Oh.
for sure. All right.
See. Wow. Alright, well, guys. Woo, shit. Starving, and I'm sure none of you can send me that that barbecue chicken breast right now. So the youths them starving. So we're gonna get some food. But yeah, man, respect for coming out. Heading into June, so all the best for June. It's going to go by fast. Try to make the best of your time. Walkie Talkie streaming far beyond expected, and that's the Walkie Talkie spirit. Yes, sir. So yeah, this was a decent stream. Loved it. Shout out to everyone that came through. Mellow, Millennium, Paradox, Kyle, Walkie Talkie, the Arashikage. Who else am I missing? A bunch of people. Bio, Jupiter, Andrew. Yo, shout out to everybody. Of course, as I said, when Sparking Zero drops, the streams of me getting my ass kicked. I should probably do some more Tekken streams, like some online. Because the last time I did Tekken was story. Well, part of it. But anyway, Sandra Chia, thanks for coming out. And enjoy the rest of your night, guys.